aggressive, they stress out. And on a map like Cafe, if you're not playing slow, you'll get picked apart. That being said, to give hope to NIP, FURIA did not look great in their last playday on Cafe. They got 7-3'd by Fluxo W7M. So there is hope. But that being said, you wouldn't leave the map up if you weren't comfortable going back to it. And if anybody has had more recent issues, it's NIP. And it's not map specific. It's all of the maps. So for that, I think FURIA could 2-0 this one as well.
All right, we'll see how they do though. FURIA start on the defense because of NIP's map pick. They have to start out on the attack. What can they show us in the first map of the series?
Let's find out together as we hold hands and jump into the abyss of fun siege to be found here. It starts on Dostoyevsky. FURIA versus NIP, and pretty standard set of bans. Wamai is back. Now, have we actually mentioned the buffs that he's had recently? Did we talk about that?
I think I did in Chalet.
You said he's better. You said he's great in the meta.
Yeah.
I don't think we specifically said why. Maybe we tell the people. Because there was a patch, what, 3 days ago?
C4. He gets a C4, which is fun. Yeah. And also his discs, he will recharge the disc quicker. So that means he'll be able to output more in the early game.
Yep.
However, he does have one less. But let's be real, who was ever using that 7th disc as well, Mike? Probably no one. And also, you know, whenever you throw the gadget and the magnet goes...
He does, yeah, familiar with it.
That was 3 seconds long. Now it's 1 second long.
That's quick.
So it just goes...
Suddenly, all the times where people try and rush in, make the difference on it, suddenly all the times where people try and put the pressure against him early, well, he can be set up, he can be ready for it, he can lock it down quicker, and he can stop those direct drives. So if you're wondering why he suddenly found himself banned a lot more, he had it. The perfect demonstration and lesson from the main man demo. And the main men are the ones inside the lobby. We'll see if they can try and make quick work up towards the top floor here. NIP starting on their attack. Now, obviously, in the grander scheme of things, you know, the teams have sort of met in, earlier on Salt Lake City. Things went pretty NIP's way. But the tournament itself did not go either way. I think they were both out in the same stage as well. The sort of middle. We'll see if they can try and rebuild themselves here and get themselves another swing at an international stage. Obviously, there's still 2 chances for all of these teams, right? FaZe, they're not entirely out of the running. They're just down in the lower bracket, and they have something to sort of take. But I guess that's the lesson here, is anyone can stumble.
And this is just kind of atypical of Cafe, isn't it? It's a very long, drawn-out process of attackers just trying to get in the building. That is always the issue with Cafe. It's establishing a foothold. You don't have any doors you can walk in towards the top floor. You have to either go through hatches, windows, or the skylight. And speaking of, Wizard just goes head ticking off from skylight.
Now just the 3 versus 4. They do find the back of Loira, but as we enter the final minute, they're just putting the pressure across the top. And I mean, Box Era is still just holding on. Look at the movement there of Volps on the far side. They know they've got them outnumbered. Now they've got them surrounded and probably about to suffer the other side of Box. There it is. Pops up. Pops 1. Now he's in a 1 versus 1, but he knows his friends are very close. The explosions are even closer. They're waiting to be swung from Lumber. But Box Era is sick of waiting.
Well, that was a pretty clean round there from FURIA. Failure to launch for NIP. Just couldn't get into the building, couldn't establish any bit of ground. Yeah, I think the clash just walking around on Cafe is always going to be a bit of a hindrance. And as we've seen, there is no counter to said clash outside of the Sophia. You know, Nomad, Callie, usually 2 better options. Sophia, again, yes, she does get an extra stun grenade, but still very limited in terms of what she can do with them. Whereas with a Nomad, you know, you're just going to get that immediate pushback. 1 goes off, bang. Dead clash. Don't really get that with Sophia. You have to have the follow-up. So, FURIA able to win that mid floor, and Well, they're actually going to go in towards the top floor site. I mean, this is the site that we usually see teams stray away from on the defense. But FURIA are going to have a go at it. I mean, I suppose that makes sense, because this is the thing now. Again, with Wamai seeing a big increase with bans, it's going to free other defenders up.
Yeah.
What's the one defender that we never see allowed on Cafe? Azami. And here she is.
I think it's... Oh, okay. That was close and dangerous, and, well, Pyjamas open up with a kill or maybe a death there. But it's the perfect point, right? It's almost the conversation people have had about total bans, why the ban system changed, the adaptations that you can have around it. Is there's always going to be more and more ops, there's always going to be more and more problems, and the buffs themselves, how quickly they can shift the meta. The point to be proven, and I mean, it's a deadly combination. Alongside the clash as well, just how much space you can sort of play into. You can respond actively towards the damage done, and how do you enter here? Well, it's got to usually be from the hatches, from towards the top, and you get rid of the keepers, and they can't actively defend those. Now, with those on the board, well, they've got to try and find alternate routes. You can see they're digging up both sets of stairs. You got the Deimos on one far side, trying to find their way up red as well. But with that clash, with that as army, they can just sort of build on, seize the barrel of a gun, and wistfully dreams of a set of hands. Until somebody's forced out, nothing is truly happening. Loira finds the Deimos, waited ready. They tried to explode at the same second. There's one found. Not quite finished off. Instead, it's actually down the corridor. Loira caught out by Fantasy. Do they know about the second man?
I don't know if he does, though. It would be... Yeah, the call has to come in, and it does. And Diaz, yeah, you can't cleanse yourself with a phone call anymore. That's long gone with the mute trick. Phone is going to blow up, and the C4 able to snatch Fantasy. And oh dear, NIP, very similar to that first round, just can't really get a stable grip in the building.
It's almost that sort of risky thing, right? As I said it, the standard ways of approach are drifted away. Diaz drifts his way around the 90 corner, kills one. Try and read somebody else here, but 40 seconds, they're still fighting just for the ground underneath, and it leaves, what, a player on rappel outside white. They know exactly where he is. So they finished the round. 2 in a row here for FURIA on their defense, and it doesn't really feel threatened yet.
Nope, everything is just going to plan right now for FURIA, and yeah, NIP, I think, well noted, going for the timeout. I would definitely agree with that. I think things are just not working for them immediately. Their initial game plan is not working. At every kind of chance, FURIA get an opportunity to throw them at the building. I mean, they're not throwing them out of the building. They are hurling them like it's like the shot put. So certainly NIP maybe need to look at a different approach. I mean, straight away, if you're struggling to get into a building, shields. Gotta be shields. Yes, Monty's been banned. There's more than just one shield in the game. I think you have to be looking at that as an option if that's what you're struggling with. Or else, this could get very messy. Like, things cannot continue like this, or else, Cafe, it could just rack up.
I mean, they've had their timeout, they've had their conversation, now they just have the rest of the map ahead of them, and, you know, you sort of look towards the map pool, and you look towards the fact that this was their pick, and already they feel like it's sort of getting away from them. Maybe they just want to have this hard reset. Maybe they just want to sort of, you know, stop things in their tracks, go, look, we need to make sure that they don't start getting the momentum. I mean, it's what, 2 kills over 2 rounds? Whatever's happening, it's not good for them. In the meantime, Licker is the only person who has died in their opponent's Volps. It isn't massively needed so far. It's just shown up.
10 seconds remaining.
We'll see if this is a round where he breaks the divide. I guess we'll also see if this is a round where NIP can put a bit more pressure onto FURIA.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
This is a big round for NIP to try and get them back on track. Because if they lose this, And the timeout's been wasted. And you're also 3-0 down. Spell disaster, but really here for FURIA. I mean, they're just going through the motions. I mean, this time they've sacked off the Clash. Which, it's weird to say, but Clash didn't, I think, do much. But that's not a slight on the Clash, as though Clash was, like, nullified. I don't think Clash got an opportunity to do what she does best, which is hinder attackers, because all the attackers were never in the building. Or they were dead.
They're now putting sort of eye-line pressure on. Box is holding on, hoping for the drop from the new Balk. Otherwise, I think it's a much steadier, slower process here. They've struggled that immediate, that first route in. And see, oh, he's the only struggle outside, and there's the kit, there's the kill. Basetto gone. Zara stricken once again. That's 3 times in a row the entry statistic has gone into Furia's favor, and you kind of hit the oh no worry.
Oh dear. NIP could be the same woes. You've got 1 player in the building. That's going to be Hates. But FURIA still got 2 players to see if they can cause a bit of a nuisance. And well, there's one of them gone. The other player is Volps over towards Red Stairs. He's looking for a potential flank opportunity. As for everyone else, towards that mid floor. So eyes and Volps. Here comes the drone. We'll spot him out. So top floor control will be fully in control now for NIP. So it really is the first time that we've seen any real semblance of an attack here from the attackers. So we'll just see if they can keep it up. Obviously going to go with a top-down avenue. And oh, good night, Fantasy.
I mean, what a beautiful, quick little dance there. Lawyer has somehow been able to get back to the site. He's usually been the body that's taken so far. And they do what they haven't been able to do and finds 2 within the same round. That's the sort of problem. All of them are so low and so close. And that's all of them that have suffered bullets, but just haven't been able to get the end of it. Finally, Pino finds one. Got things leveled back up. 20 seconds, though. The timer, very narrow window for them to turn this into success and a very narrow play space left for the ones tucked behind. Bomb army crawling themselves to some sense of safety as Volps goes down. It's just 2 people behind a table, and they're in the 3 versus 2, but the timer demo is so low, they pop up, reveal the unpleasant surprise behind it with the revolver, and they lose on time!
Oh. I mean, it was by far the closest that we've had for NIP trying to get around on the board, but yeah, comes down to the timer. I mean, Diaz, what can you say? Just had to try and put his body on the line, got the 2 kills, and yeah, just out of it for NIP. I mean, overall for FURIA, I think that they lost top floor really quickly, and they kind of allowed NIP to formulate that attack. That's why we've seen actually NIP do a little bit better in that 3rd round. But moments like that happen. Diaz goes big, finds 2 kills. And yeah, still the same result. It's a FURIA win. So this is the worry. FURIA have won now on 3 bomb sites, and they're actually quite cheeky. They're going to go for the 4th. They're going to try and go for the perfection, as I like to call it here, on all 4 sites. But for NIP, by the time they were in a position to try and look for that plant, I mean, it was time was a big issue for them. I don't know if that's the case because of the first minute of how long it took them to get into the building, because they're playing a little bit timid for my liking.
I think there's like the element of timidness where I wonder if that was a point of sort of conversation. I wonder if they're aware of it, because they have to be, because they struggled in the first 2 rounds as well. And you know, the opening kill, it's generally always been driven so far by FURIA, right? That one was a run out. NIP weren't even ready for the engagements to start. They were still on rappel droning, and it's just, but it's halfway through the round. It's not like a sort of opening 30, which, let's be honest, Cafe does play into it. You said that lack of pace. I mean, nothing is going to put that more in sort of black and white. It's like they solved one problem. We've been able to kill them. We had the man advantage. Oh, we've run out of time. It's the 6th man. It's the man that you can't kill. And well, let's see if they can try and at least improve on that a bit. The Twitch drone slips the way in, gets rid of some of the electricity, and obviously not a Rooney. They left his army on the board that Diaz has now been promoted to. The Dockerby gone as well. Think of the round where we had what? The Dockerby, the Lion, the Deimos, all sort of operating in the same thing. They haven't been that oppressive with it since, but always a chance.
Keep our position.
So kitchen. Again, this is for the perfect foresight rotation here from Furia. That's what NIP want to do. I mean, look at their lineup. It's not exactly well suited for the traditional take of going upstairs and doing the vertical side of things. There's more utility focus, which does spell for a bit more of a direct take, but I just don't really know which way they want to go here. Is it going to be kitchen? Is it going to be over towards VIP restaurant? This is big decision making here for NIP, and at the moment it just feels as though they're fishing for a kill. In a minute 15, it could be time. It's going to be NIP's worst nightmare once more.
They've been able to get that opening kill though. Diaz gone. Volps finds the trade back in though, levels things up. However, it's the cost of the operators. Lawyer unfortunately puts another down though. Hates is found. Lawyer finds a second for his trouble. Does Wizard at least make sure he doesn't entirely run away from them? The 3 versus 2 versus only Basetto left. Hasn't found himself a kill. Would have to level himself up in totality to get this one back in. I mean, look, you can see the pressure's mounting. That's a secondary in the hand of Boxera, so he's going to pull back. He's got 40 seconds, but they're just wanting the engagement, right? They've forced him back out the building. Oh, oh, okay. A bit of a mix-up, a bit of a snafu, and now we've suddenly got a 1 versus 1. He knows exactly where he is. The ping was there. He doesn't have the kit. He can't.
Yeah.
They've rotated off. They've pulled off wedding. Oh, and Hurts wins it out. Oh, that was almost a bit of a nightmare round for Furia.
A little bit of trolling doesn't hurt anyone. If you win the round, that is. Yeah, almost a bit of a disaster. 2 of them kind of lined up there for the Basetto, but not gonna be the case of winning that round from it. And look, I mean, the last 2 rounds have certainly been closer, but let's look at it. Furia are 4-0 up. And they've played very, very well. They've not been afraid. They've wanted to take gunfights. They've wanted to take engagements. NIP, for me, are just way too slow. And that's because I think they're just a little bit scared. Like, it just screams that kind of, we don't want to take this engagement. We just kind of want to try and tiptoe around it. It's much more of an almost a pacifist way of playing this game. That doesn't really work. Believe it or not, this isn't a game for those who want to stay in the middle ground.
4 in a row. Now, obviously, the timeout was used. This was NIP's map. Oh my god. Is Foxay doing it again?
We all did it. We just copied the homework.
Lisan Al Gaib. I mean, Furia, they've just set themselves up for a bit of success here. They've had a bit to grow on, NIP. They obviously got the opening kill to chew on in the first. Oh, that's changed. Oops. Volps gets fantasy, gets that one locked away. Well, they're also able to get a couple of kills, right? It got down to a singular sword of body. They can still rebuild. They still have the shield. They've lost the twitch. So things like the Goyo canisters, the Kaid claws, those are a bit more powerful. Shotgun sledge. Eight's going to see if he can try and drive his way up. We can hear the candelas popping, but they're inside the site. Dino's under pressure. There's an easy pickup. There's actually 2. Well, they tried something a bit of a difference, and oh no! Caught out as well. Oh, it's a flawless.
Just a bit sad, isn't it? Hold back your tears. Hold back your tears.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. It's one of those. These happen. These are very rare to see.
Attackers need to locate and
But
defuse
an
bombs.
absolute thrashing is what it is. One team doing everything right, the other team can't do anything against it. And these happen in a game of Siege. You will find these irregular games. And I've said before, look, I feel as though it's always the big games, the game that means the most. With the top teams going up against each other, you have these blowouts. I think FaZe and Team Liquid Alienware, they were a great example of whenever two big teams going at it go well. This is whenever two big teams going at it doesn't go well, and you have these stomps. And they do happen more than what you would think.
I think one of the things that's sort of worth looking at as well is when you look towards what the Fortress game that these two played earlier on in the stage, 6 away, sort of got all the way into OT, when it was pointed out that in terms of how the team showed up, Fantasy were obviously 17-10, but the rest of the team wasn't that far away. Fantasy, that lead player, 1-5, but well, the rest of the team isn't that far away. Wizard is the only one who's been able to get himself level. In the meantime, you look towards the FURIA side that pushed it over the edge. Volps and Lawyer are really far adrift. The other three were, you know, +8, +7, +1. It was a very sort of top-heavy team that carried them over to the win. But here now, what? Diaz 5-1, Herds 6-1, Loira 6-3. They've just all come out absolutely swinging. It's that worry that there isn't anybody that's able to match them right now. 5-0 NIP on their map, on their preferred half, could at least get something to build from, something to keep them of that death. There's a nice first gift. There's an instant response.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. We have to mention FURIA. They've not allowed NIP to have any form of control. If NIP are able to get a kill, which is very far and few between at the moment for them in this game, there will always be a response from FURIA. They will always keep the man count level. And as you can see, they will also keep the man count in their favor. Make that too in their favor. So it's just same old, same old. NIP struggling to get themselves into the building. They're making desperate plays, running out a mirror window. I mean, it's just insanity at this point, thinking that that's going to work. And 8. A lot of work to be done. No way of dealing with these mirror windows. Just have to try and swing the man and some damage for it. And there's Loira to finish it off. What can he say? Perfect. Perfection from FURIA.
Yeah, that's the way that you want to look towards it, but the cookie crumbles both ways. So let's ask our expert cookie crumblers our desk.
Rolling all over the place. The signs, I mean, as well. 2 kills for NIP in 2 rounds is not enough. They seem to be so far apart from each other as well, like so isolated. Time is an issue. They take their tactical time out, but even after that, it feels like we're not progressing. It feels like we're regressing. I mean, take round 5 as an example. How fast was that? The final kill was happening, what, 2 minutes? 2 minutes left on the clock? That's not what you want on your own map pick, because it's not going to be great for the mental for NIP whatsoever. And I feel like, you know, Fox, we're all just collectively giving you your flowers today, because when you said this was a dangerous veto for NIP, you certainly weren't lying.
If only somebody could have seen this coming. No, I mean, it's just, it really is an unfortunate, I think Demo put it best. It's just a bit sad. It's NIP, you can almost see the situation coming from their last sets of games. They're getting so good with their opening kills in the early round, and then they just fall flat when the pressure's on them. I mean, we're in playoffs. The most amount of pressure is going to be there from the get-go. And now the biggest issue with a map like Cafe is it's very limiting on those opening kills. So the one strong suit that NIP had all stage is being able to get in your face, get aggressive, get those kills. And we saw some glimpses of them being able to slow it down past that point. But now you're going to a map that doesn't really go well with your play style, and you already have those issues of being able to finish later in the rounds, which Cafe is also one of the worst maps where if you have a limited time because you're not clearing floor by floor, you're in a very bad situation. So it really goes to show that you can see all the signs, the warning signs for NIP. you know, I would love to say, oh, with side swap, like maybe on defense, NIP can get aggressive themselves, but they're a very big mental team as well. So I could imagine them being, yes, on their map pick down 6-0. They will probably lose 7-0, 7-1. And I don't see it getting any better going into map 2 because NIP has always been that team where if they get quiet, it really just ends there.
You've already written him off and the first half is over. I mean, to be fair, it sounds like a logical thing to do when the scoreline says 6-0 on your own map pick. Sure, you know, we critiqued NIP for having lost so many games in overtime as of recently and that not being great for your mental, but the fact you have to now come back from a 6-0 deficit really isn't very good for the mental either. Looking at the bans though, I feel like we don't see anything too crazy here either. Of course, you know, Azami's not going to help NIP or is going to deny NIP here to create any strong positions, especially like in piano and stuff. Keep on seeing quite frequent Wamai bans as well, especially with the patches coming out as of Tuesday. But NIP, you have a really, really tall hill to climb here if you want to win out your own map pick.
So, it's a mountain, but is it insurmountable, Demo?
Well, I mean, it is Cafe. You could just do to Furia what they did onto you. That is happened before. As long as you have a little bit of hope, a little bit of dreams, then well, no, I can't even do that. I can't even sit there and try and convince myself. No.
Yeah, I was waiting.
I just think the pressure's too much. It's not as though it's, you know, 6-0s. Whenever you have a kind of close-ish 6-0, like there's been times where we've sat and watched halves where it's like, yes, it may be their scoreline, but that's not translated with what we've been seeing. I think in the context of this 6-0, it is what we've been seeing. It is very much Furia on top the whole time. And that's the worry. Furia, yes, they're now onto the attacks. They're shooting straight. They're trading really well. There's basic fundamentals of what they can translate over to the attacks. It's also there in abundance.
They just need to land it once. That is all. They need everything to align just once, and sometimes just once accidentally happens, and that's that sort of problem NIP are in right now. They've got to sit forward and get logged in for every single second of every single round of this half, because if they have any hope of claiming this one, it's going to be the long, long walk to OT. Furia, they're happy. They can take their time with things. Obviously, they don't want things to get too close. They still have their timeout, but they're definitely not going to use it until they get towards their tertiary, unless something really bad starts to happen. You can hear the Candelas go, and you can see the Candelas go. Fantasy gets second as well. Well, this is something really bad that's happened. They haven't been able to get inside. Not a flawless, but definitely a failed attack.
Yeah. Well, this is one that Furia can stroke off. NIP. Almost want to scream they've done it, but no, they haven't actually. They've just won a round. It's not the full thing just yet. Just sit in your hands. That's all NIP need to do. You can't win this round as long as you do that. I'll try its best. But look, hey, I suppose it's one back. For NIP, still a long, long way to go before we have any thoughts about, oh, they could maybe do this here. It's still a long way to go before that happens. But at least it's a start. At least it's not a total blowout. I mean, at least that somewhat gives you a bit of pride to not get 7-0'd.
Yippee! They probably exclaim. Hey, look, it's one. You start on one. Everything has to be flawless, and to be fair, a pretty much flawless opener is the best way of doing it. You do have some questions about Furia's approach, but as I said, they can try things. They have space to try things. Question is obviously, where do you go here from the side of NIP? They're going to stick around on that sort of mid-floor. Not go to the kitchen just yet. Sort of keep the game as similar as it was to the round that you just locked it down as well as you did. A couple of changes here and there. The Ella's picked up the Kai to protect the hatch and probably the triple wall in towards pillars and just give themselves a bit more safety to work on. But otherwise, hey, if it's not broken, I need to change it. Fantasy obviously getting a 3K. It's a big boon. I think that was foreign concept to them in the opening half.
Prone razor shell. 10 seconds left.
Here we go. NIP,
5
your
seconds
next
remaining.
defense, and also take up in towards the
Everyone good?
train and mining.
Let's get cracking. Don't want to talk about it.
Now, I think for whenever we've seen Furia defend it the first time, I mean, I think for NIP, they were pretty close. It was just an unfortunate situation for them where he ran out of time. Diaz able to find two. It was pretty close, and maybe that could have been. Whoa, 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 whoa! Where's that came from?
I don't know.
Where was that?
Jack deployed.
I'll be outside pillar, no?
I mean,
Bobby, what was that? Two! How did he get two?
2 on a single C4, and was it up towards the roof? Jeff, Jeff, I didn't see.
Jeff! Hang on, I can maybe do some VAR.
Right, you get the VAR up. Obviously, they've lost their IQ. All of that, pressure on the gadget's going to be a bit more powerful, but there's also still 2 more C4s.
He threw it outside heaven window and it landed on them as they're rappelling up to the pillar door.
Oh my word. Right, wow. It's going to slow down Furia's approach here. We just need one. We just need one, they tell themselves nervously. This 2 is probably about to slip away from them. They still have time, to be fair, 1.5 minutes. You can see the NIP have pulled generically back. They left a single man up, and he's been able to get one before he gets traded out. But they put the kit gold. Then they can peel back, but they did enough to slow them down, and that's no more sledge.
Really, from that first C4, that just kind of cemented the control over towards NIP, and it certainly looks likely that they're going to pick up their second round here. Both players and Fury have teamed up with each other over towards Red, and oh, well, there's Hate, just waits for them inside Arena.
Oh.
Diaz able to at least get one pick on the Wizard, a good shot, but still 3 more to find. He should be aware of where Hates is, as he just taken down his teammate beforehand, but just a lot of angles needs to check, and that timer slowly but surely ticking its way down. Cade. Can he find the Cade? He's trying his best. Be just a matter of time before it gets taken down and starts taking a bit of damage. Last man behind the bomb chassis was aware that maybe somebody could have been in there, but Bino picks him up. NIP, that's 2.
It's 2. It's only 2. It's 2. I mean, Pino obviously opening up with the C4 double kill. Beautiful ending. Just keeps the pressure on. It's 2 rounds in a row where we have had a player from NIP get a multi-kill. And, well, heavens knows they kind of needed it at that point. Obviously, Pino had been able to do some distance before, but things generically got leveled up. We had Fantasy start to show up a little bit. We've had them sort of shut down Furia's approach. And that now puts us on, what, 8 defenses in a row across this series. It'll be 12 if we want to get all the way. And this is that problem child, this tertiary bomb site more than anything. Because you wouldn't even say what needs to be taken out from the defenders to make things harder for them, right? It's tough to sort of gauge with what is kind of being played. They've changed things up. The Thorn has been pretty consistent now. I think maybe the only operator locked in for all 3, but it's not really the thing that's changing the face of this game. Furia have just struggled, so it's got to be structural.
Yeah. And also, both rounds that NIP have won, Fantasy got a 3K in the first one, and as we see, Pino just got a 4K in the second. So both the rounds have been off the back of a player from NIP going big. So I don't know if that's something to maybe look at, and what happens if somebody doesn't pop off, then do Furia win it? I think Kitchen, this will always be a good site to kind of test them out. Interesting, you can see from NIP not wanting to go in towards that top floor, which is where Fury went second on their defensive rotation. So I think that's a bomb site that they may try and just stay away from. So Kitchen is what we deal with first. Plenty of DMRs. I mean, that's another thing that is still as frequent as ever on the defense. Aruni and Tub. I mean, this bomb site, you have a lot of long angles you can challenge onto. You think about Bakery, challenge it onto the outside doorway, a player instead of VIP, very generic for a Tub to play in there. You can fight long angles over towards Wedding Window, for example, from where he is, and also the exterior window. So, a lot of different stuff that you like having the DMRs for. But for Furia, what's the play going to be? It's got to be that top floor clear. You've got a ramp, you've got a sledge, you've got ways of opening up that flooring.
The peaceful classical music of the top floor. El Clasico. This currently is not a 62. And there's another opening kill for NIP that's actually 4 in a row they've been able to cement now, including the one on the turn of the half, but the game hasn't always netted them the full surprise. Volp's on the close down. Loira's trying to offer some support on the door itself. They can't quite swing around and get them in time. He's behind the pillar, but now he's got a ram behind him too. There's a lot of attention being drawn out here, and he's got some support and a cover. They got him down, but they lose somebody in the exchange, and now they find that kill. They should be able to level this up as a 3 versus 3, but they're not entirely throwing themselves in just yet. Letting the body come to them. Couldn't quite get to the hatch. Gave him a bit of false hope.
Well, gonna barricade up the door that was open beforehand. Not a bad idea if he has the opportunity to do so. So at least now he doesn't have to worry about somebody walking in to reception. Still here for Furia though. It's all about the vertical work. That's what they want to try and open up. Plenty of vertical work being done right now. They're just gonna take their time with it. Look at the timer. 30 seconds or so remaining. Have to try and get a move on. And there is still plenty of that utility. You've got 2 C4s that you have to try and work your way through.
Pressure on towards the swing player. He's going to hold out as best as he can, but as best he can is a drop on towards 1, but then they find the trade out, and Loira on a dime gets 2, but Wizard gets 2 right back. A technical 1 versus 2 clutch over the top. My, we're having it all.
That's free right there. I mean, don't tell me we start having conversations.
Having not even having this game happening whilst we are casting at 1:30 in the morning. I feel so sorry for my housemate.
I mean, at this point, I don't care because it's getting good.
True. I'll buy her a takeaway. She'll be fine. 6-3. Furia timeout.
Ooh.
Understandable.
Yeah.
He's got wobbly.
It's getting a little bit, shaky here, isn't it?
I mean, as I said, it's a structural thing. There's not really an operator that they need to get out. That was the closest they've gotten. Was that round. The closest they've been able to sort of break that deadlock, and it turned into, I mean, it was 2 instant back-to-back double kills across the 2 opposing teams. And that wasn't enough. And again, that entry statistic has just entirely evaded Furia. I mean, there was 2 rounds in their opening half. They couldn't get it either way. They were able to still convert the rest of the round, but we might just be about to have the most defender-sided Dostoevsky we've had for a long time. Multi-kills and clutches, though. Are they the thing that you can build continued success on? They've had a time to talk, both teams. Furia still just need 1. Just need 1. Could it be this one?
That is sometimes the most difficult thing, isn't it? I think for Furia, I mean, I'm getting very, psychological here. Psychological warfare. Never underestimate it.
Mm-hmm.
For Furia, is it the pressure of knowing that you've got 6 opportunities of just winning 1 round? And maybe the pressure's got to them in that regard. I mean, that could be a possibility too.
Wouldn't be the first time. Would not be the first time.
10 seconds left.
Okay, well, at this point, they've Obviously, put everything on the table. They've had their talk. They've gone the distance on it. NIP 3. Just have to do it again. Just have to try and pull it back again. We'll see if they can try and lead as they mean to go. There's a threat with the C4 on a window. Where have we seen this trick before? Furia, you hope
Not
have.
again. Not again.
Can't be. Surely it won't.
Okay.
It was.
Was he also one of the two who died the last time?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Foxeris died to the exact same death.
Twice.
Oh dear. Well, that's not good.
No, I would
IP.
describe it as bad.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm one who doesn't like to look on the negative parts of this game, as you know.
Yeah.
If you want to see it in your bad ways, then by all means. Yeah, you lose the recruit right from the get-go, and I think it's more of a demoralizer that your teammate has died like that again. You're probably thinking, how has that happened again? Furia are really wobbly. Wizard a second. This is eyeing up to be a 6-4.
The grenade forces the player out, and the guns follow suit. It's a 2 versus 4. No, sorry, a 1 versus 4. Herds. All that's left. I mean, they know where the kit is. You can see them recircling. They're firing a couple of bullets generically across the bow. Now they know precisely where he is, and he's going to hold the angle and hope. But at this point, with a minute 10, this is just an extension of the previous time out. They've stepped even closer. And they're tired of waiting for the end of the round. They're going to take it themselves. 4 in a row. 6-0 to 6-4. Do you believe yet?
Oh, I think the important thing as well is that has just broke Furia's timeout. 6-4. This is really doable now for NIP because momentum. It's one heck of a thing, and it's kind of blowing through them the same way it did in the first half for Furia. I will say, apart from the kitchen round where Wizard had that 1v2, all the other rounds dominant for NIP. Every struggle that NIP had, Furia is now having the same.
Yeah. It's rough, but it's also like, you wonder why, right? It's not that they are inexperienced on this map. NIP generically have had a worse time, but a worse time is a sort of 1-3 record. They've obviously, have history on this map against Furia. It was a sort of 4-7 split. In the meantime, Furia, sort of a recent 3-3 record on it. It's just, it's strange that both these two teams have absolutely sort of shut down today on their attack. Especially when you kind of look through the grand scheme of, how this attack sits. It's not the most common played, but it's not even, I think it's the 3rd best defensive map. It's not entirely sort of swayed. What is generically an attacker-favored region. You've got, Furia, they're, in fairness, the 3rd best defending team. NIP, statistically, the 2nd best defending team. Who's in 3rd? Oh, yep. Furia, the attacking team. Furia, the 3rd best attacking team. Whatever's happening today goes against everything that they've done throughout their split to get here.
It's unprecedented. You never see these kind of games. They are so rare to see. The Furia looks like they're going to do something different. A direct take. They're going to try and force that shield straight into the site and look for a plant.
What is this position? The flash goes over. In fact, the smoke even. He's hoping to get the glass. Second smoke rolls out. He's just going to wait for this sound and mop up. They're going for the plant. In the meantime, they lose the glass. And now they're suddenly stuck in the middle. The shield has to stop going for the plant. They pull back. Diaz gets 1. Fancy gets 1 right back. The spray and the cover. But now the kit is cold. It's a 3 versus 2, though. can work with this. They can work with time. If they can just isolate a player, the Razor Bloom will reveal a position. In the meantime, there's been a bit of a relocate in towards the middle of site itself. They didn't even open up the hatch. They tried to, as you said, force the play, but now it gives them even less to work with. The Razor Blooms are surrounding them. You go back to droning, and the positions can just be taken defensively around the kit.
Yep. And the kit is in a very bad spot because it's not actually in the bombs. Like, you have to walk in towards train to get it, so a lot of ground has to be covered if you want to try and reclaim that. And this is an issue with going direct, is as soon as you lose the player who, again, would like to try and get a plant down, be involved on that shield, you lose him, you lose the diffuser. You then have to try and fight your way back, and Zera, good smoke though, will get him in, and now angle up for that plant, but he's lost his teammate, he's lost his cover, and he's down to 1 HP. Should be easy pickings here for NIP. And the phone call out, but there's just, I mean, 3 more players he needs to try and deal with here. He's one in towards pillar, at that time just dwindling away now. NIP look as though they are 1 round away from taking us into overtime.
What is happening?
This is Siege Heritage.
This is why I love the game. Is stuff like this happens. Now, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be the one that has to say it. It could all be for nothing. It is down to this. A best of one as it is. It's the tertiary site. It's the site that came to technically a 1 versus 2 clutch for Wizard last time. This is Furia's best chance. Who starts on defense in overtime? Because theoretically they win. Imagine if we had 15 rounds, every single round was a defensive win. Has that happened?
Oh,
like probably,
that is a
right?
good question, isn't it? Don't know. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head at this moment, but yeah, I mean, it could be certainly a fun one to play with. Oh, look at where we go to. Into our kitchen site, into the basement. And what do we have in store for us here? What are FURIA going to do? It seems to be a very fast approach as already Boxera is in towards that top floor, so seems to be the vertical take is what they want to go for. I mean, last time the real struggle that they had was kind of taking in towards VIP because it didn't have the util to deal with players in those positions, and that's where they faltered. I mean, look at the lineup this time. They've brought in the Sense. So there is a minor change, but really the only thing the Sense is going to do is just try and ignore the player instead of VIP, where you're going to fire up the Sense wall to then safely drop through the hatch and try and formulate a plant in towards default, which again, it's just a way of ignoring the player in towards VIP rather than trying to go and kill them. So just keep in mind what Volts has at his disposal.
Getting themselves the angle, the pressure that they can apply downward. As I said, this is NIP's chance to put this one to bed. They do not want to have to try and, you know, build this up again. They can try and keep this drive. In the meantime, FURIA, you worry for them being the ones that get in towards the overtime. I wonder if they're going to start on their attack. You assume so. Here's the pressure. As it starts to filter their way around, herds have slipped themselves off. Nobody has been caught just yet. Might be the first time we get into the final minute with every single player still standing. Otherwise, the kill game, I mean, long since passed at this point, and it is. As they drop down in towards the split. They've got a bit of a hold on Freezer. The roll of the Sense gadget will cut off some of the route, some of the rotation, but it doesn't seem like NIP want to lean back in just yet. They're sort of saying, look, you can have it. We've got the cover. The Razor Bloom goes off. The first one is baited. We're back. Takes a lot of damage for the trouble, but not enough to kill him. 40 seconds. They're still waiting for the roll to come out. There's been a bit of a coverage and a change at this point. They're still watching, still waiting. Is this too late? NIP, they're still holding on steady. And there's the first kill. The C4 catches one, and there's that opener, but they still have another body on towards the kid itself. They're still watching. They're still droning, and FURIA, 20 seconds now to get this plant to land, and the carrier goes down. Wizard was watching, and now what do? You've suddenly lost 2 bodies. You don't have anyone to immediately trade out. You're having to step back into a door who's previously died and hope your cover is good enough. But Diaz is watching the other side. Boxera's caught out. There's one. But there's now your man with the kit that has to find the way in. They can't get straight support. What are you doing? What are we doing? Going all the way.
Oh my. They've done it. They've said about hopes and dreams. And there they are. Oh my. I mean 6-0 to 6-6. It almost feels as though NIP have treated that half as though it's 0-0. They've just completely ignored that FURIA have had a big 6 beside their name the whole half, and they've just played it as though it's 0-0. And for FURIA, it almost feels as though you could have let them attack those same bomb sites another 6 times and they still wouldn't do it. Here we are. Overtime. Don't tell me this is where we're then going to have the overtime with free attacks.
I swear. If FURIA win this first attack,
5 seconds left before
I don't know, I'm calling somebody.
You call.
Ghostbusters? No, because it's not ghosts, it's ghouls and problems. I mean, whatever they gotta do something. The fact that the entry statistic as well, perfectly flawless there. For NIP, that entire half, they took 2 on the other side. It's just evaded FURIA. They have not been able to get their hands on the opener. Nobody popped off. Nobody sort of hyped up, really. It was, you know, on average 2 kills a round, but it's still, you expect more from them. And NIP, there's also the element now of if it does go away from NIP, with what momentum they've built up, that's going to be a bit devastating.
Yeah. Oh, well, see how FURIA want to go about this site. Last time they tried to go direct with the blitz. Tried to rush into the site, but it didn't work out for them. It's time for FURIA. A little bit more of a slow and steady pace. Still wanting to take control of top floor. Got the ram in there for a reason. You've got the gridlock for the flanks.
Hold on. I have intel on the enemy.
I don't mind this attack here. I think from FURIA, I think it's tried and tested one. Very simple one, as long as you can do the basics right. That's the main thing to look at here. It's all about the basics.
There's the pressure on the breach. Talked about sometimes they sort of try to drive in and be a bit clever with it, a bit cute with it, which didn't quite work. Snake has the track. They're isolating some space for themselves. NIP, they're happy to sort of sit. They've played this game very well on the side of defense. I mean, both teams have. Catching the drone and the quick drive out. Probably sad he didn't get the second one, but happy he's able to filter his way back, find himself a safer place to play. 2 minutes gone. FURIA have been able to take a lot of this vertical control. Again, quite late in towards the round that we're getting an opening body here. It does put a bit of a worry on towards FURIA's approach, because as we saw before, when things were late, it did not really go in their favor.
Well, this is where NIP, it's just holding on. I mean, the time is very much with them, and nobody's died yet. There's 30 seconds remaining, still no opening kill. FURIA, and he vaults with the diffuser in hand. It's just gonna have to be a hatch drop. Oh no! Oh no! Fantasy all the way down under, being able to find vaults.
Well, they're going to try and move on the back of it. They're able to get themselves in, and Basetto's dropped away in the meantime. They're flooding the site and driven through. Boxera gets one, and they're going to see if they can try and get the plant secured. Are we going to have our first plant of this map so far? Loira gets himself two, and no, we don't get the plant. 2 seconds. What are they going to do? They try and pick it back up now. We're in the plant again. They get the swing through, but they can find the kills. We have an attack. We have an attack. We have an attack. We have an attack round win. Are you kidding me? In that fashion?
Oh, Hates has no idea how close he was. If he had just aimed just 2 inches down, he would have killed the planter. I mean, it's finally we have an attack. And is that the straw that breaks the camel's back?
Pardon?
I think
It has to be something. The first attack.
I mean, that has to be a sign. You know, that has to be. That's the sword being pulled from the stone. They've now got the divine right to win this map because they've got an attack.
I'm losing my mind. I cannot. It's so close.
It could be the OT attacks. It could be. It could be. I mean, obviously, it's up to NIP now to actually win an attack. This they have not done previously.
The fact that it came down to inches on getting the person who was planting, and the person who was planting could not let go of F because the round would end, and then they get the 2 kills in the meantime. It's just, oh, my heart. It's almost 2 in the morning. 3 per round. We can't put up with this. But it's very enjoyable. Loira got a 3k in that previous round. Definitely part of the magic needed. Sort of push them over the edge. Obviously something that the team hadn't got until this point. (7-6). Can NIP now do what seemed impossible? Can they be the ones to win an attack? Will it be the attack swap round? We're back to reading room and fireplace. It was, you know, a sort of double lockdown, as pretty much every site was for defenders previously. FURIA learnt their lessons and remembered them, or have NIP learnt that maybe attacks are possible and dreams can be true?
Might be bedtime for you, the way you're thinking. You want dreams and stuff.
Waifu buff activated.
Yeah, I don't even want to know. I clocked that. You mentioned it. I didn't want to mention it. I didn't want to acknowledge it. Here we are.
Well, if the attack loses, the waifu buff is
What skin is this?
non-existent.
Where would you
That's
acquire something
elevate.
like this?
It's
I'm
elevate.
asking for a friend.
It's elevate.
This is it. Okay, I'll have to look into it.
Loira gets one. Loira looks into getting Kino. Sure, that grenade was covered, but well, it was fun. They're able to put the pressure on. It's the first time they've gotten the opening kill since round 5. Actually, it's really been something that's avoided them. Can they try and double it down at this point? Waifu buff or not, you've got to hope that maybe she shows up and supports the team a little bit, because charge comes across the top. The clash meets them perfectly. They have a player on the window, a shield on the other side. They're sort of trying to breathe and fight their way out, and the clash can just do that. Save the player, save the pace, pulls it back. Fox gets one more, and well, now there's at least the cover. They didn't quite know about that player tucked behind, but they find one on the trouble. No Nomad, the flankers are dangerous. No Lion, the flankers are dangerous.
Should be an easy cleanup now for Furia. You've got the clash up. Sit behind. Safety. Haven't even thrown down Diaz. Should be a freebie for him. And it will be. Down goes the blitz. Down goes another. And the Furia look as though they're finally gonna win out Cafe after having how many attempts? 6 attempts. They do it on their 7th. Wizards is going to be locked out of this round. Drops into pillar. Loira catches him with open arms. Furia did win the map, but my word, it took them a while.
That's going to be defense, of course. Is this for Furia? Going to be a case of just copy paste, use more shields on the attacks to win the round? That, I mean, hey, you are now 1 map away from making it to EWC, or are we going to see yet another defense masterclass? Let's find out.
If I see another defense masterclass, I'm leaving. How many rounds? What's the cutoff? What's my breaking point? 5 in a row? If we have 5 in a row. Yeah, there's like a secret, there's a hidden camera in my room. And it's watching me lose my mind.
Defused by attackers.
Right.
I just realized I was muted. Nobody heard my funny joke. Damn it.
Okay, now I sound even crazier.
Now you sound crazy. Again, that's all part of this.
crazy.
All part of the prank, isn't it?
It's all part of the prank.
Basically, guys, I said that NIP and FURIA are on my payroll, and I've paid them to do this.
All right. So, here we are, back again. Double hard breach ban, electric ban even. Yes, makes sense. Montina Demos, yes, makes sense. These are 4 very familiar bans towards this map. It means this top site's going to be a bit tricky. No mirror tricking immediately. They've obviously got them already pre-placed. They're not going to try and catch out the hard breach as they go to it. But also, I mean, I look towards the bottom left and I say, what hard breach?
You'd also be correct in that understanding. They've put 1 mirror window for the exterior breach and the other one over for tables. So again, pretty standard of a setup here from NIP. Nothing too crazy, but like you've noticed, no hard breach.
What's
wrong?
Why ban electrics? Why demo? Why ban double electrics? Not bring hard breach.
Now you see, that is a great question, and that's something that I'm not privy to, because guess what? I'm not in FURIA.
What is going on?
I agree with you. Don't worry. You're not insane. Don't worry. We support you. But they're just going to try and just rush into the site.
All right, well, they're in. The Jank doing their best to hold them off, and it was actually the smoke that gets one of Bassetto and Bassetto. 2 versus 4. Both shields are dead. They do get one. Boxera gives himself a second for the round as well. The Bassetto was able to get one of them in the middle of the Tachanka fire whilst knifing a shield, I believe that was. In close quarters.
Yeah.
That happened. And now we have 1 minute 30 left of a round. We're going to see if they can try and slip their way across. The grenades put the pressure on. Don't quite get them. In fact, Wizard gets somebody else with a shotgun in the meantime. Herds, 3 to find. All the smoke canisters use. There's a lot of Shumikers left if they want to. They know where the kid is and they can just kind of play around it. That's how they've got themselves proposed. They're sort of saying, look, we're playing on contact. As soon as you cross any of this opener... Oh, actually, no, we don't even care. Okay, first round done.
Yeah, and it was... I would say a very optimistic type of rush that NIP went for, where it's just 2 shields coming in through green. Thankfully, Bassetto was switched on with the Tachanka, using the Molotovs, slowing them down, taking a lot of damage, and yeah, once that initial push fails, there's nothing else that FURIA have remaining in the tank. They have went all in, and they've lost all their money. It's, you know, they've actually bet on red and black there, and it's hit green.
Didn't know it could do that.
Yeah, not seen that's the 0. The 0 is green on a roulette table.
Oh. I don't believe in numbers.
Next time you're on Calypso, have a look.
All right. Oh. So, NIP doing the first defense. Yay! Will we see more of those? Now's the time to see. We might. A full 5 change. Whatever they expected. Sort of pulled itself back. There was a last second swap over towards KB instead. They do have some hard breach here, and they might use those on the hatches. And to be fair, I'd say this site has less of a requirement. A lot of smokes as well as the chance to drive. Will they try something quick again? I ponder and wonder.
We're gonna have a good go now on this bottom floor site. And FURIA have got a pretty default looking lineup. You've got operators to deal with the roamers. You've got the blitz, combo that with the Dokkabeat. and the Solid Snake, and you've got really good system for hunting these players in towards that mid floor. But you look at the side of NIP, not really interested in holding that mid floor. More than happy to give FURIA command of that side, as they're going to try and play into the benefit of having an Echo. The SAL picking up that operator, so they do have plant denial on that form, and down goes the Dokeby, who is the only counter to set Echo. So without herds now, will make things a little bit more difficult, but still for FURIA, he can still get in and start ripping open this flooring. Gonna do that with the ram. So Boxera should be able to start seeing if he can play those angles and start finding some picks. Hatch being opened up too. I mean, everything bar the C4. It's going well for FURIA.
Well, they've got themselves that obvious sort of step up, as I said. Hatch is open. They have the angle. They have a minute 20, and they've lost that opening body. The worry is obviously the Echo drones can just filter information forward if need be. They can sort of step back and get the read through. There's the shield here on the back. They'll just slip their way around. There's a chance at getting a grenade round to deal with this position. Instead, it's going to be the smoke to cover movement across. Lay it out. Bit of explosives, and there's the movement across. Goes against the divide, forces them back. Less than a minute. Oh no! Fantasy caught sleeping. Just the shield drove all the way in. Lawyer is able to now sneak up, and a bit of a rare misstep. Wizard steps back in and then caught out by the blitz on the shoulder, and Volps is doing everything to keep them fighting, Demo.
And this is the power of the blitz in these close range engagements. And for Volps, his HP is crucial. He's got all of it, so he can challenge players without having to worry about getting shot in the foot and just dying from that. Looking at the retake here, and you better make a move. And now that the player on the hatch is clear, they have the full top floor control. They can play on the hatch, they can play on the verticality, but they're not on the right bomb site to play off that hatch. Volps instead are going to try and go for the plant. Basel has hopped on an Echo Cam. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. But Boxera, he fights both of them. Oh my word. Boxera, just in the nick of time, comes to the safety of his side.
I mean, right place, right time. Gets himself to. We're not going to have another defense win in a row. The curse has been broken. But it was close. Closer than ever, right? Playing on the idea of the Echo drone, him just getting that sort of first stop, the movement. And Boxera. I mean, perfect place to strike here. One apiece, and they're going to keep the sights rotating round. At this point, I wonder if it's going to be a bit of a vertical hold here instead. Still the opening kill. Something that has really just evaded FURIA today, right?
ADS deployed and ready to go. Whoa, fortified! Deploying ADS. 10 seconds left.
You happy now?
Am I happy? Yeah. I'm not entirely. That first round, I was ready to walk. I was ready to just leave you.
I'm glad it didn't.
I'm getting it. Yeah, I mean, probably. There might still be 3 maps. Well, two maps including this one. No, there was just a lot of silliness going on, But opening 2 rounds,
like
2 clutches back and forth.
Silliness.
I do. I very much do. I am an enjoyer of sort of bits, goofs and gags. I've been known to enjoy a spot of whimsy in my life.
I didn't know that's something you can enjoy. A spot off.
A spot of whimsy, just a little.
Spot. No more than a spot.
No more than a spot. A little.
How much is a spot? What kind of spot are we talking about? What size is a spot? Are we talking Dalmatian here, or what are we saying?
We're talking an oil spill amount of whimsy, and a quick bit of pressure. I'm gonna see if they can try and make some motion behind this.
I think they're just gonna go for it, aren't they? I mean, they've got everything in place. You've got the sense. You've got the Thatcher 2 to disable the Solus. So it is certainly on, and yeah, also disable the Warden. So I've got ways around this. It just depends if they're going to go for it or not. There goes the Solus. He's now looking for the next one, and the plant's going to go down. A C4, that's not going to work, is it? No, it's not. Watson's no HP, but he gets the plant down. That's the important thing. He does die, yes, but he still gets the diffuser right where they want it.
I mean, just the perfect sort of little narrow angle they found to make it land. There's Pasetto getting one, but someone else has been able to slip through. They're drawing as much attention as possible, but now it's just Boxera left. He's able to find one, can't get the second. And they will have time to get this one. A great retake there for the side of NIP. So we are being suddenly gifted to everything that we did not really get on the first map. That is the first plant of all the rounds so far. And the first defuse.
I mean, it is the bomb site, which you would expect to be more plant orientated than the others, just because of you can do tricks like that. Yeah, I think it was a good round there from FURIA, the way that they used the Thatcher above to disable the operators who want to deny the plant, being the Warden, being the Solus. You have the sense walls, and you go, get the plant down, that's the important thing, but you just couldn't hold on to the retake, and it's one of those where NIP were just shooting better there on that retake. You know, NIP, they went together, they went in twos. They didn't really have to do that much training, but they still worked together as a team. I think sometimes that's the issue though, isn't it? Or if you're not going to try and go fully upstairs, is the retake can happen. You know, and I think that's maybe what Fury were maybe missing. Is we see whenever teams want to try and push in towards that bomb site and they try and get the bomb down, they'll also send players upstairs to try and challenge on towards green, try and get some kills upstairs to stop the retake from happening once the diffuser goes down. We didn't really see that. I think they just gave NIP too much of the map to retake from.
Well, we've now had pretty much everything that we missed out, but what else could there be, potentially? Chance at a return on towards this. Now the mirror gone. Are they gonna bring Harbury this time? Are they gonna put pressure on towards the hard walls? I guess we'll find out. They at least have two. Hey, that's growth. See if they can try and make it work. They're not doing the double shield rush as they tried before, but it's just the real limitation here on getting those openings. Fantasy might wanted to be the first opening there, but wasn't quite offered. I like how he's got the Kiva to protect him from the drone hole.
It's a pesky drone hole.
It is.
This is a round where I think Furia, they need to move pretty fast. As you look at the lineup, they've got the triple threat. The Smoke, the Dachanka, and the Goyo. So in terms of time denial, my word, NIP have it in abundance. So Furia need to either one, move really fast to take an area such as Mez if they want to go traditional, or they try and go untraditional and try and force some kills in free art, which can be difficult, especially whenever Pino was playing such an aggressive position with that shotgun, trying to jump in towards bathroom is difficult, and whenever you lose the shield, how are you ever going to get things going now? NIP, big opening pick. All they have to do is just play around their utility. You lose the shield, you lose the pushing power that you'd want to have if you want to try and take in towards art and bathroom. And for Pino, he's in a great spot because look at the operator right beside him. Wizard on the wham. I can just keep throwing out the discs. Keep him safe from any nades that could be tossed at him.
5 versus 4. The flashes start to rain in. Pino rains right back out. Gets rid of Boxera. Now that leaves them still dumping utility and still not really netting a reward for it. Hoping to go for the swing on towards this. But at this point, they're just kind of hoping, right? Let's see if they can try and pull a body out. The Candos will pop in. And oh, they just pop up. I was sort of waiting for it.
Do it.
Now, oh, he wants to do it, but he knows that there's somebody downed out there, right? And he knows that they're
There's a
trying
leg, there's a foot. Hello.
Oh, he missed it. Oh, and he missed that. Well, that's not gonna be a flawless. Might be able to get his friend up. Gonna try 4 versus 2, 40 seconds. Problem is, demo. Well, they have 2 hard breach charges. That's about it.
Reloading.
Yeah, it's not looking healthy on the old util lineup here for Furia. IP just have to sit back and relax. Not much to worry about. Jumps. Lyra gonna take the deep plunge in towards bathroom, but 15 seconds. I mean, this round is done and dusted. Diaz walks to his demise. Lyra should be up next, and NIP, well, it's pretty simple siege. Just playing around. Mezzanine, working together. I like the addition of the Wamai there. Just burns away that utility. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think for NIP, it's going as planned. But for Furia, quite the opposite. They haven't really been able to formulate an attack on that top floor.
No, you know, the fact that obviously that second round, the attack that did go through, fell in the way that it did, come down to the Box Zero triple kill, and here we're having it rotate around. The bans haven't affected anyone. 3-1. It may as well be a 4-0. It very much could be. They did get the plant down in the third round, but again, it didn't go into their way, right? It's the tertiary site. They want to get themselves 2 attacks. You know, they have 2 more opportunities to try and cement something. There's, you know, a maybe chance on this. So what's the conversation? How do they build behind what Boxera was able to push over the line last time? Still the entry statistic not gone into their favor. What, over the sort of, how many rounds are we up to now? 18 rounds played? Is it only gone into the favor of Furia 5 times? Really not been, you know, less than a third. And it wasn't always a sort of horrible statistic for them, but here it is. There's also been a really low amount of trades on that opening kill as well.
It's been pretty dominated. Overall, NIP are just on that with the opening kills, opening deaths. Yeah, it's not been favorable at all. So, Furia, let's hope the timeout
10 seconds left
is going to give them a little bit of a morale boost. I think on the bright side, though, for Furia, it's the bomb site that they last won, albeit it was a very close round. It was down the box there, going pretty crazy. Still, they get another opportunity of attacking that. Last time they wanted to go for the top-down clear. And it looks to be pretty much the same lineup. Except, instead of the Dokkaebi, they've got the Blackpierce. That double shield rears its ugly head once more. But I don't really... Did they need a second shield to win this round the last time? Like, I don't know if that was a necessity for them. I think the Dokkaebi just kind of got blown up straight away, so we maybe didn't see the full value of it. It's certainly a conversation to be had about bringing the 2 shields. Maybe you want nades, I don't know. And,
okay, well,
I mean, come on.
Now it's 1 shield. Honestly, he went through flames and fire and everything to get back home. And they haven't been able to net anything for it. It's obviously the second smoke canister. Would have heard the chunking of the shield and sort of played it ready for it. They've still got a lot of work to do, but I mean, now they don't have Volps. They don't have that point, man. And the other worry is, you look across, obviously, the 4 remaining players. Boxera, half of his kills came the last time they were here on a clutch. Otherwise, the rest of the 3 remaining players have 2 kills between the 3 of them.
Reloading. Nothing to report.
At my location.
Snake, it's best to find out some information, but now for NIP, the fact that they just know they've got the opening pick, you look at the time, you look at operators they still have, they still got the echo that they can utilize, they got a few C4s, they've got ways of slowing down the timer even more so, and more importantly, stopping that plant from happening. And that's going to be a difficult task here for Furia, especially whenever they've shifted now in towards a direct take. They're going to try and force their way in through Toxin using the other shield. Herds has the diffuser in hand. Don't forget. Oh, but the Yokai drone stuns them out. And yeah, there's the landslide of NIP, as was expected. Furia in the 2v5. Diaz and Boxera. You just don't see anything coming off this.
The weird thing is, as this round reaches a natural flawless conclusion, is they played the Echo there last time. they surely would have expected it potentially to be played again, and their response was to try and bring a second shield and use those as the points of swing. And it's just like, well, you're being hard counted, and I don't know. 4-1 again, could be 5-0. We could have had another pretty dominant defensive half. We currently still do, but it all comes down to this. Again, the tertiary site. Again, the chance at them seeing if they can try and slip their way around in towards a bit of this plant control. Obviously, the weird divide last time was that NIP have now guaranteed themselves being in the front foot. They have not had that feeling this entire showdown because of the nature of needing 6 rounds. The flawless comeback last time. This is the first time they've been in the driving seat, and are guaranteed that driving seat when they get into the latter half. But can they get themselves something that means that they learn how to attack? Because they have not won a single attack over the 7 that they played in the first map. They've got to do at least a little bit better. Controversial statement.
Reloading.
Oh. Well. FURIA hasn't worked on that basement. Now have to go into another site which you've lost previously. Were able to get the plant down here, of course, last time, but it was a retake from NIP. Just think they were lacking maybe a little bit more pressure towards that top floor. I really like this pick up here from Basetto, though. I mean, the clash coming out in round 6, whenever you know that shields have been a massive part of the FURIA lineup. There's no better operator than dealing with shields and the clash. I mean, if you're a shield player, if you're a Blitz or a Monty or a Blackbeard, and you get the call, or if you see her and it's just, oh, the clash is here, you just feel your heart sink to the bottom of your stomach. That's the impact that clash has on shield players. They don't have anything to deal with it. I mean, they don't have a counter to the clash.
We'll see if they can try and piece their way here across. They're going to see if they can get the vertical control. They didn't have this last time. Instead, they tried to be a little bit smart and cute with the play. And, well, it did work to get the kit down, but then they just couldn't win the engagements afterwards. So instead, if they could try and find one body, maybe give some benefit in towards their post-plant engagements, it could help. Otherwise, it's just the 2 shields run again, which, I mean, you know, it hasn't worked. Maybe this time, although Volt was almost the first body to go. The clash is around, and there's Wizard. It is a flawless half of opening kills, and we might be about to end with another flawless defense as well. Lawyer and Diaz, everybody to find. And, I mean, hoping to find somebody. They're swinging on the door. Diaz goes down. Lawyer finds 1. The first for the game so far. Now as the clash steps up and just bullies them back, I think we have a short drive to the end of this round.
Yeah, sad affair here for Loira. That clash, it just tears them, and I think the double shields have just not been successful here for FURIA. NIP have brought more than enough answers for it. It's the Alamine. Loira goes down. NIP, I mean a 5-1 half, what can you say?
I will say that it could have been a 6-0 again, and I could have lost my mind. Instead, we'll hear the minds of our wonderful desk.
Thank you so much. I feel for Emmy. You know, she said if she was going to see another defensive masterclass, she was going to go out, and I fear that we're seeing another defensive masterclass here. 5 rounds for NIP on their defense. It's just an issue of players like Hertz and Laura that we talked so positively about on map 1 are just not showing up. NIP running away with every single opening kill. And I like how you said as well, Foxy, they should force the shields. They should. And then they play Blitz almost every single round. And somehow it still doesn't work for them.
Well, they just don't have the play style that matches the map currently. I mean, the reason why they were able to win Cafe, so like, you know, eventually getting it over the hurdle, the defenses from both teams were flawless, but the attacks were the issue. Is just constantly being split up. There's no trades being the focus, and the objective play, there's not enough utility to be able to get through the first set of issues, obstacles, and then go for the execute. NIP is trying to fight right at the door. so that Furia struggles because they're too split up. They don't have enough utility, enough bodies to be able to get through, which is why players like Herds, Loira, and frankly, the whole team are struggling to have any type of impact in the series because they're alone. And it's a very difficult map. It's a very daunting map to single-handedly try to enter into an area when you don't have drones for you. You don't have any Ying Candelas. You don't have anything, to really get you through that door. Having a type of shield, yeah, maybe you will have some type of an impact, but it's not the shield that you want. Monty was banned, which was a good play, and Furia, again, doesn't necessarily have a great shield player to be able to follow it up. That being said, though, I think we're all addressing the elephant in the room with it being that, neither team can really attack. So Furia was able to get one. They only got one and needed one in the previous map. So now going on to the other side, hopefully NIP with this momentum will be able to just over aggress. And I just want to see NIP, if they're going to close it out all together, 5 people one side, 4 people one side, they have to push collectively as a unit to be able to trade out the bodies that Furia is going to be putting in front of their way.
And I think big to mention as well, of course, Wizard, a great game so far from him. 9-2 over the course of this map here. You just hope for NIP that finally, we don't get a repeat of this 5 times in a row, a 6-8, overtime loss for them. You hope that that's not on the card for them this one. But the one positive thing I'd like to say for Furia, they have played this map 5 times recently. Their defense win rate on that, when they played this map 5 times, 80%. Furia now going on the defense. That should be a very positive thing for them if they want to bring the series back, push it into a 2-0. But again, it is a tough hill to climb because with your attack in half, a 1-5, that is very, very little.
So, full shield ban. We're not going to see any of that. Double electrics. Maybe we'll see some play against the hard walls. We're back up towards the top floor here, Damo. NIP have not won an attack.
No.
Oh.
10 seconds to go.
I mean, do you think... What do you think you'd have more of a chance on winning an attack on, Lair or Cafe?
I would say Lair.
Or so?
Because I think that you can structure something externally into internally with less steps on some of the sites. I think Cafe, it requires a lot of sort of faith on occasion of entering, and well, talking of faith, there's some pressure that's going through, but I think here you don't have to do as wide amount of work.
Yeah. I think Cafe is more, I want to use the term RNG based, because getting into the building is a roll of the dice sometimes. As to be fair, Furia, they noticed that quite a few times whenever C4s are just flying out which window it's going to be today. Whereas you don't really get that here for Lair. Again, a lot more slow paced. You can get into the building a lot easier. As long as NIP could just play simple siege, play safe siege, then they shouldn't have too many issues. Now, they themselves have went for the electrification ban, so for NIP, not gonna have to worry about those 2 operators, but certainly the mirror will be an issue. Mirror will be used as a bit of a mini game where the mirror windows can be placed on breaches to then open them up and then use impact grenades to blow off any hard breach that could be on it. But NIP are also adding in the additional flavor of not only going for ops, but also using the Blackbeard push in towards green. What a kill there from Hates. Just takes down Bot Zara, down goes the mirror.
Wow, what a big removal there, because he's also been the star player for Furia as well. He's been the one that's been able to sort of put the distance in, the one that won the round that they're able to take so far. NIP. Now that sort of pacing thing slower and steadier, the up against the mirror window, some damage behind them, forces the player further and further away. They're trying to get themselves up close towards it. Seto gets one more, and oh, what a win out on that swing, but a couple of bodies went away from them. And there's one more suddenly level. 2 versus 2. Now they still have the Blackbeard they can work behind, and they have a bit of an isolation. Furia, they're trying to wrap around a dangerous chance and a time to reload, but instead they pull back. Diaz is under pressure from the Blackbeard in the same sort of second. This fight, this sort of narrow angle on the door, the plant, is going down. The coverage, the C4 ripped, isn't thrown. Instead, it's caught, but now it's a 1 versus 1. Shield versus Tachanka, the peel back. Sets himself up. He wants to try and play this in a delicate sort of game. The Tachanka, he baits out the first, and then he just swings on it.
That's a tough one. That is a tough one for Diaz. Did a lot of work in that round. He will be a free K for him, but he doesn't win the all-important 1v1. Yeah, the Blackbeard just peels away, plays the long angle. Here's an argument where maybe could use more of the Molotov cocktails in that scenario, but then I think you pull out that launcher. What stopped the Blackbeard just rushing at you whenever you don't have a gun in your hand? It is possible, so just had to play gun up and hope that he could try and win the engagement, but it wasn't the case. NIP match point. This is a position which they haven't been in this series.
So they just need one. Now, that might surprise you in this game based on the series so far. As another team just needed one last time, and they decided, no, in fact, we need 8. But they just need one. FURIA, they have lost their opening defense. The gift that they got in the opening half has immediately been taken out of their hands. And now they have the pressure of Flawless. They have the pressure of time. And they have the pressure of Fortress on the cards as well. And it's always sort of, worth highlighting the fact that when these two teams met on Fortress 4 days ago, well, it was an OT game there as well. We have 3 OTs.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed. Do you?
No, but I think it's Anne's fault. There's a conspiracy that Anna's come to SAL, and
Anything to say for yourself, Anne?
Anne was saying it herself earlier. Came to SAL and everything became overtimes.
Disgusting.
Now I just bring on saying in siege. You know what, bestie? You're right. Yeah, you're right. I take it back.
Oh, it is
Changing mags.
tense. Well,
They got an opening kill.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's finally a little bit of something there that FURIA can be happy about. Down goes Wizard. Down goes the Dokkaebi. No more calls this round, so it's a good start overall from FURIA. Opening pick. Haven't been traded back. And an important operator, and that's a falling gadget. It's going to do a bit of damage towards Pino, but he doesn't care. As Hates was able to find Boxera before Volps is there with his own kill back, so a 3v3 is where we sit. And oh, what a swing there from Loira. Gotta be a trade, and Fantasy just gets there in the nick of time.
Yeah, as close as possible, but look at the separation between the remaining players, right? They need to try and double up somewhere. You can see it's top and bottoms. It's FURIA that desperately rotating on, well, actually rotating their way back in close, and the reveal of the snake means that they know he's close towards the fight itself. They really want to try and cut off this man.
Area isn't clear.
And with a minute, I mean, they can work this together, but how far do they go? They've got him now. He could go up, he could get out, but he's not going for it. Instead, pressure is on Diaz. 45 seconds, 3 smoke canisters to play with. Make sure they don't slip away over towards the next map just yet. Drones are rolling out. NIP's rolling in. They have themselves doubling up. I mean, are they just going to try and hit the hatch? 20 seconds and all the canisters left. Get some of the control over the width. Force them in front of you. The first one go past. The second slips on by as well. Knows now that they're coming around to the bottom of the boiler stairs. Great smoke. Round. They'll have to just try and push their way through it, and picks up the man as he entered with the kit. 6 seconds. Just has to play close. Has to play time. Pino's not gone for the plant. He's going for the hunt, and he can't quite get there in time. Not done yet.
Not done yet. I said miss smoke. Was it a miss smoke? It looked as though he was obviously hearing them rotate. And naturally you would be, okay, I'll smoke off the stairs. but it looked as though he missed, and obviously it landed right beside the rotation that he was aiming at.
Oh, maybe
I don't know
it
if that
did.
was deliberate. 'Cause if it
Oh,
was
right.
deliberate,
Yeah.
then it's actually worked out well because he smoked off connector, which means they have to flood in through the door.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I don't know if that was intentional or not. Either way, it's genius. No matter how he's done it. If it's accidental or whatever, genius.
Genius has paid off for one round, but FURIA ain't gonna be perfect. They obviously lost to the opening round, Master Office. And this is still gonna be the tricky one, the tertiary bunks briefing. We obviously saw it slip away from the attackers twice last time.
10 seconds left. Attackers
Saw a plant,
recovered the
saw a
location of
change,
bomb.
saw a first entry kill for the longest period of time for the side of FURIA.
Ella, you can't work on an art installation in the middle of the shooting range. Can't you just do some slack?
It's unfortunately for being sort of a lot more present in the first map. Hasn't really been able to get his teeth in towards this yet. Meantime, I think you look towards the split of NIP, and granted they had the pretty solid opening half. They're sitting on 6-2 map point. Their stats are always going to be better, but they've all shown up, right? They've all put pressure in towards this map. Which again, when you look towards the first map, even in the sort of full taste of it, Hates was missing, as was pointed out by the desk. He was 3-10 before, now he's 7-5. He's pulled himself back round massively.
Loading new mag.
Don't worry. Even if you're able to win this round, it's you have to then go to the site that you were not successful on. Sometimes what it comes down to. So FURIA, if they can at least win the bunks, give themselves a chance at having another go at that top floor. Going steady at the moment here for NIP, but what a pick there from Lawyer Wizard. Head taken right off him. Lawyer hasn't had the best of games, but been able to get a cracking kill. I mean, you also have to talk about Herds. He's not looking too healthy down there on the 0-8. Let's see if he can maybe try and find himself his first kill in this round. And minute and a half gone. NIP really haven't done much. And hey, speak of him, there he goes. First kill on the board. Herds, C4 from below.
Just needed to hit the reverse caster curse, and he gets one. But now in the 5 versus 3, they thought they had an opportunity, and a C4 was almost a sort of removal of that chance. Pino does get Herds, eyes on towards the site itself. He looks up towards the verticality still being opened, but it's not being swung just yet, most importantly. And it's had the pressure on the other side of the door, the narrow little margin of hiding. There's one they could hide the painful secret of I'm going to shoot you, a 4 versus nobody. As he tries to sneak into the site, we have now 2 defenses in a row, 2 rounds in a row as well for the side of FURIA. A distance of 3. Not untenable. Are we going to have another OT?
I mean, it's certainly an option. But this is the real make or break, though, isn't it? Basement locked out. Mid-floor locked out. FURIA, you have to go back upstairs, and this is the site that NIP were able to win. So there is that element of this is it. This is the opportunity, and NIP are going to make sure that they can try and lock it down. And well, I mean, we've seen this earlier in the FaZe Team Liquid Alienware game, where FaZe took the time out knowing what site it was going to be. He didn't end up winning it.
NIP timeout. I think there's that sort of split on it as well, right? They just need to land it twice, right? They just need to find that home for it twice. It was a good effort. Comes down to a 1 versus 1. They built themselves up with the shield. They've had 2 sites slip away, but it's the benefit of the 6 versus whatever. Regardless of how far they've come, as long as you are still 1 round away, unless it's a 6 versus 6 and things get reset, you just need 1, and that could be the timeout. That could be the conversation. We've done this site before. We have an idea of how they held it. We've done our prep. What do we bring in? What do we change? Well, they've got the clash on towards the board, the castle as well. Stretch out and slow down that approach potentially. Otherwise, I'm curious to see what sort of sticks around. The Flores and the Sophia, both great counters for the clash. You can just put the pressure on and force her further and further back. And that was one of the things you said was sort of missing when the clash was brought against Furia's attack.
I do like this though. As you can see as well, hiding the clash.
10 seconds to go.
Try and that out of the
5 seconds.
vision of NIP. As we know, if you don't have a great counter to the clash, she can be an absolute nightmare. And yeah, look at the lineup. NIP, all they have is really the Sophia to try and hopefully stun, but it's not Nomad. That's the ideal operator that you want to have. So, NIP, how do you go up against this clash? What's going to be the idea? What's going to be the plan? I mean, you've sacked off a shield. Instead, you've almost tried to shore things up a little bit more in the hard breach department by bringing in a Thermite. Again, best operator to open up the walls. Big hole coming right up. Oh dear. And that'll be the only big hole coming right up.
Well, that is maybe the worst possible way for this one to start here for the side of NIP. This point, we might be hurtling towards another extension. Volps getting that opening kill. Getting rid of the Thermite, getting rid of the whiff. They still have a lot of hard breaches. It's not my round one sort of meant to be. Look at the aggressive stance they've taken inside ops. They might be able to punish just a little aspect of this. If they can hit, as I said, the clash. There's the destruction, and whoa! Do you want a demonstration of what a new Sophia can do, demo? Because we just got it.
My word. Yeah, I did want to mention this as well. With the free impacts along with the free concussions, I mean, if you can nail all three, you can do that.
Yeah.
Because I think they do like in around like 60 damage if they hit you.
Yeah.
So you just go bang, bang, bang. That certainly has opened up the door now for NIP. All they have to do is try and deal with these players who've now taken aggressively in towards tables, and Herd's thought, oh, I can try and get an upper hand here and try and go a little bit crazy. Tucked in the corner, it's not going to work. However, Volps, I mean, you never expect the third player in towards tables, but here he is.
Doing his best to sort of hold them out, but now the pressure comes around. They've obviously forced their way in. Got the little super shorty, not enough when you're surrounded by 3 other guns. 40 seconds, and you've obviously got Wizard, I think, on the far side, sort of building by himself. They're going to see if they can try and root him out. It's the 2 versus 3, and they're not entirely sure where the breach is coming from. The shotgun can't quite get it. Wizard styled on it, and that leaves just Loira, and he misses the first engagement. Tries to angle on towards the second. But that is apparently all she wrote for this map. NIP said they just needed to land their attack twice. They do it on the top floor.
So if they're able to just get a couple of rounds under their belt, they'll have no pressure on their shoulders swapping over to defense.
Well, it's the good news that it's just this map that sends between these 2 teams, and one of them locking in their slot for EWC. And if this is anything to go by from what we saw last week, look at demo, we're in for a long one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, hey, at least we know it has to end at some point between these 2 teams. Will it be another OT? Will it be another OT tonight? Will it be a bit of a surprise? Because to be fair, we've been kind of surprised so far. We've had flawless halves, we've had flawless entries, we've had plants and diffusers, we've had all sorts.
What's Fortress going to give us? It's been a hot minute since we've cast at a Fortress.
Yeah.
I can't even think off the top of my head when the last time we actually did cast a Fortress. Probably G2.
Probably G2.
Probably. Yeah, so it's a map which I enjoy. I think it's hit the ground running very well since it's been introduced this year. I think it's found its way into the meta where you have got, again, I think it does tend to see more clearing from one side of the map to the other, working your way through the bomb site. But we've also seen direct takes. We've seen cheese takes work also very, very well on this map. So you do have a lot of different options in terms of how you want to play the map. So we'll see what Fury want to go for. I mean, immediately, you look at the lineup, you see a Ying, you see a Grim. You're expecting a little bit of util dump probably in towards Horse is the usual suspect. But obviously, we will be starting on our bedroom and bathroom. Bed, bath, and beyond.
Beyond.
Is that what it's called?
It is. It's an American chain, I believe.
Jack Allen short for that.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Fun facts, I suppose. Fun facts late night with demo. Wondering if we'll get a bit of a break of the deadlock.
I was going to say as well, one thing is also to keep in mind for NIP. Yes, Fury have a lot of util dump. Look at the amount of util NIP have based on the bans. You went for double electrification ban on Fortress. So that means you get to leave your Wamai's up now. You've got Daenerys in towards Horse. Goyers are there. There's a lot of things you have to be careful of in this defensive lineup.
Digging their way underneath with the Deimos, something we know that is pretty successful time and time again on this map. And they're just going to do the preemptive there. Pull back amongst your own traps. Wizard and Hates find one apiece. As they do that descent back towards the site, and pretty clean start. Make it even cleaner as Wizard cleans a house. Gets a second. That leaves Volps and Boxera alone. Can the Candela thrower of Ying and the tracker of Deimos get to deliver? They can at least force the player out of Horse, but well, look at all the traps on the other side of it. How much further can you get? They still have Goyos, which I'm not sure if they're baiting. The pop, beautiful shot from Volps. Isn't 100% sure at first, and well, the impact. Oh my god, he got that kill before he got, but he still got. And that leaves a 3 versus 1.
What happens if a Pokemon trainer catches a Pokemon as they die? Where does the Pokemon go? That's the question that we have now. But yeah, it's one of those rounds for Furia where it hasn't worked for them. NIP have a flurry of kills, and it's a 5v2. And for Boxera, a 1v3 to go up against. NIP being very, very patient here. Who wants to kill? Who wants to come running at him? Who's it gonna be? Foreign traps are going off. They know he's in Horse now. Just look at the patience here from NIP. They just want to get the job done. Just gonna wait for him. Unload the Candelas, but Pino with the SMG takes him down. Easy work. Overall for NIP, not much to worry about.
Pretty standard, pretty sort of balanced in the lock-in. They, got themselves those opening kills, and they just built from that. They made sure that they were in a position to trade out. They made sure they were in a position to sort of respond to each other. It's everything you want. As you said, it's a complicated map. You've got to clear your way across. You've got to have that sort of confidence on it. And they couldn't get it. As soon as they lost those opening, it was the thing. And it's still the worry of that opening statistic, right? It's still that worry of how far that's removed. To be fair, the success that FURIA found with it was at the tail end of the last map. They got 3 in a row. Even if they couldn't quite get the map itself, it's still growth. It's still somewhere to go with it. But, well, we'll see if they can trade it out. They obviously flip over to the other top floor site. See if they can try and just do pretty much what they did, but backwards.
10 seconds left.
I'm surprised that they didn't bring the shield in for the first round. I think Fortress is a very good shield map. Whenever you are dealing with a lot of utility, the direct takes, being able to clear roamers, a lot of different ways you can play the shield, very, very potent. That's why you can see that NIP have went for 2 shield bans, but Blackbeard's up. And the fact that they didn't take the first round, I mean, that's probably what they were missing to try and get themselves in towards Horse, is that shield. So I am happy to see it here. So I think for Volts, this will be a good pickup, and hopefully they'll be able to themselves on the board. C4, I mean, those have been a nightmare, it feels like, this evening for Furia. Those early C4s that NIP have lined up for them. However, that one's not going to do a lick of damage to anyone.
Quite been able to find themselves that opening body, a bit of peel back and pull back, but you don't want to get caught out as you go for the cross. They don't want to give the territory up either. The first minute gone. Furia have at least been able to get themselves up towards the top of the sort of marble stairs, but the pressure comes on towards the site. How much of NIP will be forced further and further back? The play with the impact might have had an impact on the Selmas. The hard breach isn't the issue this time round. Furia extend the break, lead with the shield. It's been a very shield-heavy showdown between these two teams we've found so far. The grenades start to roll their way down towards the corridor and down towards that pinch position. They're still hoping to pinch the player, but I think it's done quite well for here, Furia, to not get caught out in the game of keep away. Oh, do they know? Do they know?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Shield. Shield. Oh, shield. Vault. Wins that out against Heat. I don't know how he's done that, but he has. Any more? Yes, more. Another one and a down on Pino. What did I say? Bring the Blackbeard. Shields are really good in Fortress, and Volps is showing us why.
Yeah, and I sort of made the comment as well that it's been a shield-centric day, and we've not seen the sort of biggest success. The Raridor! Oh, foursome round. I mean, they can try and swing on it. There's a man advantage. They're going to play on the back of it. Loira has the cross. The fire starts to kick in. They're just going to keep the pressure up with the Blackbeard, right? He knows he can't really take his eyes off him. Doesn't really matter. Furia. They respond to Plum. Take the round with the shield driving. And, well, I'm wondering if we'll get a Blackbeard ban after round 3.
Oh, well, I think definitely the shield will be here to play for at least another round before we head into the ban phase, you would expect. And again, I think it depends on what site we go to, and it is going to be a different site again. NIP, I go for the waiting room side now. I don't know how I feel about this, because, I mean, this is the bombs at which I try and stay away from. Just think it's very awkward to hold. Whenever you can just take above, have access to a hatch that drops into the site, you have verticality. As long as you can dump a lot of util in towards medical, and you take that part of the map, it's very easy then to formulate a plant. So can get pretty claustrophobic. That's why you'll see a lot of teams will extend and will try and stretch their legs here as roamers. So there is that pressure on roamers to do their job and do it well. That's why they bring the castle, just to reinforce different parts of the map that they want to try and hold.
This, again, we're getting that element of growth. We're getting that sort of change in the waves of things. It was a late opening kill. It's down towards what is often a sort of touchy site. And I know that we've talked about it tonight, is the element of, do you double down on sites you lose? Do you try and keep momentum going? I think on this map, I mean, would you say that the drop-off of difficulty between this site and the one just before it of Dorm's Games, do you think there's changes there that you can make, or would you keep rotating around on towards a ground floor site and sort of change everything fundamentally?
I think teams just get into the habit, don't they, of just rotating around. That's usually coming from scrims, isn't it?
Yep.
Where whenever, again, if people don't know this, if this is not common knowledge, whenever professional teams scrim, you will always have 6 rounds on the attack, and you'll always have 6 rounds on the defense. That is always going to happen in scrims. It's not as though you're going to get 7-2'd, and you don't get chances at defenses. That's just the way it's going to be. FURIA have just walked in and just killed everyone.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt your point, but the round is done.
How's the round done within a minute?
They just walked in, put the pressure on. It was great play. The round got the first kill on the top floor, and from then on, they just sort of went, well, we can just apply pressure, and yeah, it worked really well. Well, we get a Blackbeard ban, 3 for 3 on the shields. Yes. And at the timeout. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Blackbeard ban needed to come in. Needed to come in. Obviously, whenever you look at how the Blackbeard was used in that bomb site, which more than likely will appear again, being dorms and games. I think you need to get rid of that Blackbeard now. Just restrict the shields. Unless they want to whip out the Fuse Shield, which, I mean, you don't know. There could be a Fuse Shield and lock revolts. But no, a wise ban. But NIP just not happy with how things have went. And I mean, if you look at the Fortress stats for NIP, their defensive win rate is at an even 50. And their attack win percentage is at 45. So defense is their more favored half. And then if you look at Furia's side, 46% win rate on the attacks and a 57 on the defense.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It does sort of bring, obviously, the pressure on towards it when you know Furia are going to have a better time on the other half. You know Furia are going to be able to bring that difference, and you want to try and peel this one back in, right? 2-1, it's not the end of the world. You can still get 4. You can still lock in, and you struggle more on your attack. Everybody has today. It's been a nightmare. But on that, you also don't want Furia to regain momentum, because if you think about the grandest scheme of things, right? The first map, NIP, 6 rounds in a row, and they lost 2 at the very end. They lost just that little bit of momentum. But they absolutely dominated the middle map. And then here, if they suffer the other side of it, if they're the ones that have to once again go back into the hell mines of we have to make a massive comeback, it's going to be tougher to sort of pull from the reserves. Because they did that before, and they almost did it, and they didn't. That's not easy. The traps. They've obviously got the drive of the Denari and the Thorn. They're sort of playing out and baiting the welcoming here, but they're also trying to get that opening peak outdoor force.
Here we go. NIP. This is your favored site. You would expect to see a good hold from them. They will be extending in depth in towards Bunks and Games right now, and plenty of attackers that they have to deal with. This is where the main force of Furia is going to come in from. That shield. Close and personal. Should be a freebie here for Hates, and it will be. Lawyer goes down. What did he expect, that nobody's on the shield? I don't know, but loses life because of that. Thankfully, though, Herds on the other side, able to win his engagement against Fantasy.
Oh, here's the surround, though. Hates. He's under a lot of pressure. He's got to go back to the shield he was watching on before, but now he knows that his door is cut off. He cannot leave his post at this point because he'll get found unless... Oh, Pino! Where was the swing? The timing was too little too late. They've caught him on Volps on the swing and the watch as well. Perfectly pinched from the side of Furia. A shotgun locked on the door puts us in and nobody left. I mean, it was just so well held there by Furia. They knew exactly where they needed to look at the right time.
Yeah, and basically for NIP, they just kept trying to flood men back into the offsite position. They were more than happy to try and fight against Furia, but some points, maybe you just think, let it go. Just try and play in towards the site, because we just didn't really see any site action whatsoever.
Attackers need to locate.
So yeah, NIP have blundered the site, which they looked good on in that first round, and now Furia have taken a very healthy lead, especially after the timeout. So NIP, they're just going to keep with the rotation. They're going to go back into dorms and games. Now, this is where the Blackbeard ran riot against them. But that's being banned away. They don't have the shield anymore, Furia. They can't utilize that unless I see Volps pull out a few shields. Is that a potential for him? But at the moment, it doesn't look to be the case. They're going to stick with the lineup that they have.
5 seconds left.
Oh, hang on a minute. Whoa.
Hanging on a minute. Hanging on a minute.
He's got it. He's got the few shield. There's no way.
What's it like having the gift of prophecy?
I love few shield as of late.
Okay.
He's using, in my opinion, the wrong pistol though.
Right.
That's the GSH, which has, yes, about 10 more bullets. However, EMM deals 60 damage per hit, so you just 2-tap people. It's very fun.
Ooh. Bulbs baited the swing there and pulled their way back round. He doesn't quite get dropped off. He's trying not to be the first body dropped off here. They've pinched on the player behind the bed itself. There's the catch of the razor bloom, but it says he hates that finds herds. And gets themselves the opening body. They're back down towards the top floor site, but this time they're not giving up the ground. Remember last time they sort of fell back bit by bit procedurally. They tried to elongate the round. Here they're not. And it's working much better, Demo.
Yeah, NIP. They fought against it. Loira looking for a backstab. There's a guy right to your left. There is a player right to your left. Thank you. 2. Yes. Ooh, that's a down. Loira has just made this round a lot more interesting as it's doable now for him and Diaz. Holding on to that rotate. Should know he's in bathroom, and they do. Pino able to take him down. Loira, good attempt, but for Diaz, it's going to be a 1v4 for himself. How many kills he can pick off, but you would expect by now that NIP are just going to sit in their hands, play around the util that they still have left, and just trade each other when needed. Even the Dachanka is going to get active now too. Goes for the shotgun. Basato is there. Wall being opened up right beside him. Is he going to swing? He's going to have to. And Diaz will pick up a freebie. So essentially a 1v2 because there ain't no way Fantasy is going to get picked up anytime soon. So a minute left. I mean, is it doable?
I mean, you can see if you can try and pull it together, but it's still a 1 versus 2, and you've still got a lot of fire in the Shimmick launcher. Finally, Fantasy is put to bed. How are they going to play? It's a bit of an awkward shape on the site here for anyone that wants to enter, and he's sort of baiting the motion, but he can't quite get it out. I mean, Ahmed has had his own little fort. He could watch the approach on NIP. Get themselves their second attack. Second defense even. Could try and level things up and have an even half.
Yeah, that's good. From NIP, it gets them the round that they needed over towards Dorms, and obviously they lost it the last time that they played there. The site that they've chosen has also been a site which they've lost. That is, they go back over towards office and bathroom. Now for Furia, I don't think there's much to worry about yet. I wouldn't be hitting that big panic button at the moment. Last time, NIP just put up a lot of fight towards that extension over towards Storms and Games, which you can see them doing pretty much the same thing. In terms of lineup, exact same from the attackers. They're not moving an inch now. As for the defenders,
5 seconds remaining.
again, it's to be the exact same lineup, so it's just going to be a straight run it back.
Is that really a priority right now?
This Furia could get themselves off to such a good, sort of strong, arguing position in the latter half of this game. We've seen how well they can play on their defenses. We've seen how well there could be a back and forth, and well, we saw when it didn't quite net themselves the result previously. Obviously, they got themselves 2 defenses in a row. That was it last time. Here, when you have the sort of compared history, right, when you look towards the previous showdown of these two teams, when they found themselves on and found themselves in towards OT, it was even halves. It was 3-3s. And it was actually sort of similar patterns, but at this point the pattern hasn't quite repeated. We've maybe broken our way around the cycle if Furia can just get this one locked in.
We're on that lurk. If he can get the opening pick, he's primed and ready. And oh, what an opening pick, 8. Oh, and a second Fantasy joins him. Loira. That's why they brought him over. I mean, that guy is just electric. One of my favorite players, and that's why.
I mean, just a beautiful 2-piece, right? Just a sort of quick transfer. How many times has Loira been that bite back in, that fight, that respond to form for this team? Well, he wasn't last time. He was 4-13 when these two teams met on this map not too long ago. He was the lowest rated player in the server, and currently he's making amends for that. Now, with the final minute of 4 versus 3, the rest of the team still has to try and drive their way in towards this approach, still has to try and find that first sort of thread, that threat in towards it. It's steady, slow, and just into trap after trap after trap, and the bees will force them further and further back. It's a great deploy. You can't really get anywhere from here, Demo. He knows a fight is coming, and oh no, Basetto drives in towards it. He's round the back for the second round, and a 4-2 as the opener. The deadlock partially broken. No 5 in a row, but, well, we always have our desk.
Thank you very much. A 4-2 for FURIA, in my opinion, is actually pretty good, especially if you look at their history on this map, given that they normally get about a 50% attack and win rate. This seems to already be better, and I'm really glad to see certain players on the side of FURIA come alive as well. You know, we talked about Hurts and Great Links. You know, going 1-10 on the last map was not ideal, but he's showing up here. He's definitely getting up a better performance. You know, it's the 4 rounds on tech. It's great gunplay that we're seeing as well. 2 rounds from NIP, they're able to fight back here, but the question remains, is that going to be enough to close out this fight on map here, right? We talked about this map going 8-6 when they faced off against each other literally last Sunday. What can NIP do to kind of cling this series back?
It's not, I don't think it's going to be enough. I mean, a 4-2 split on your attacking halves for FURIA is amazing. That last round, exceptional. The way that they're able to just entry consistently, even with the shield up that last round, Laura being able to get to the trades. I mean, that's the night and day difference from Lair to now. You can see when the pressure settles in for NIP. There's no reason for Hates to be re-swinging on that shield where his teammate just got one tapped off of, especially with so much time in between. It's not even a trade at that point. It's 2 isolated 1v1s that they both lose to Loira. And so now, like you said, what does NIP have to do on their side of the attack? Well, this is where they struggled when the sides swap in their previous matchup on this map. They went 3-3 on defense, so they were already 1 round better. But then on their attacks, it was just another 3-3 split. Now FURIA has a little bit of an edge, and they also have that confidence at the fact that they are going into the more favorable side. NIP has to, one, the players need to wake up individually. Fantasy needs to wake up. He needs to be getting those entries. He was the biggest reason on why they kept it competitive that first time they played. He had 5 opening kills himself, 17 kills. Now he's got no opening kills. He's been nowhere to be found on this map. Basetto as well. We need to see him wake up on the supporting half, because everything starts on the entries for NIP. That was the one thing that they were doing great all series. Despite them losing map 1, they were still getting the opening kills. It's what they've been doing all stage. If they can't get these opening kills and find these picks, NIP is dead in the water.
And that's something that we saw on this initial matchup as well, right? Like from the 14 rounds, 12 of the entries went in the way of NIP. So we need them to step up in that department. I when I looked back at the match as well and saw what kind of operators they were playing on the attack here, just to get an idea of what FURIA might take away from them going into the second half. There's a lot of glass, like an abnormal amount of glass. 4 rounds in total we saw from NIP on the second half. 5 shields in total as well. 2 rounds Blackbeard, then 3 rounds Blitz. I mean, we even got to see a few shield here. I guess if players, are really deprived of their shields being banned away, they'll do whatever it takes. A few shields, they're getting more common.
Yeah, they sure are. I mean, on that first half, NIP banned out all 3 of the shields just to take the entry capabilities out of the hands of FURIA, and they still were able to make it work. I mean, I can't imagine FURIA is going to be too worried about shields. NIP doesn't necessarily have a shield player that can really abuse the blitz or the blitz or the BB. We haven't really seen it on any of the other maps, so I can't imagine it's going to be the main focus. Of course, on Fortress, Monty's one of those operators that you have to constantly ban or keep an eye on, because they can just take so much space. And if Fantasy is unable to find kills, whether he's on the Deimos, whether he's on the Snake, that Monty's going to come into question. But I'd imagine they'll probably ban out Monty, and they'll probably ban out Glaz, which is an operator that they could use to break into the site. These X Factor operators, besides fantasy, will be the key for NIP to be able to catch them off guard.
At least a Glass is a clear read into what NIP were doing last time around. A little bit of a pause, fixing some issues with a player's mic before we can dive into the second half here. Now, on the attacking bans, nothing too crazy. I mean, you want to get those breaches open for the side of NIP as well, because they are now on the more difficult side here. This is the final map of this best of 3. This is their first chance to qualify the EWC. You want to make the great use of it and immediately grab your ticket here. You don't have to rely on your second chance. You're going to have to go up eventually against Lowe's here. But as this final half on the final map continues, we'll see who gets their ticket to EWC.
Furia's chance. Closer than it's been. Is it going to be everything that they could try and get things locked in? Obviously, we have had a peculiar evening. But what we need to have and what we need to sort of get set up at this point is the chance at a big statement demo. Because arguably, there's still Siege to play after this. Obviously, not today, but across the course, there's still a chance to qualify. But whoever drops out now, whether it's NIP or Furia, down towards the lower bracket, I mean, there's definitely been lessons that can both be learned and punished, and you kind of just want to see a big blowout, back and forth final half.
Well, I think this is a very important round. It's obviously the first round of the half for Furia. He could go 5-2 up, but for NIP to pull it back and just around reach, very, very important. So, what's the play from NIP? Seems to be hitting basically all of the map. Not only have got pressure towards forms and games, but also using the Flores to remove utility in towards Eagle Stairs, and also send Fantasy down there with the Demo shotgun. NIP just probing, seeing what avenues they can go for. Seems to be more, yeah, in towards Old Tower, I suppose. Might be where they're going to try and go from. So for NIP, just looking to see what they can spot out. For Furia, just want to try and play back on site now, considering that they did lose their smoke. So in terms of time denial, all they have is the Goyo.
Now, without that pressure, as you said, the time denial is going to throw itself in a bit more. You can see Fantasy is up on the motion behind. The Clash is peeled back. They don't really have the bodies to hold on towards this. They've got to leave the territory. Yeah, send some traces and some bullets through the breach itself. The quick flash and the motion, but instead, I mean, it's what, aggressively peeing onto horse. You can see that the Snake is going to make an appearance on the other side. The Deimos is causing problems for the Clash underneath as well. And there's Pino getting on towards Volps. 3 versus 5. I gotta see if they can step back in. He can't quite get his revenge, but it does draw the focus elsewhere, and that's quite important. Diaz finishes off Pino. 45 seconds.
What's the Clash, though? That's the issue. How do you work around this shield that can just sit inside a bathroom, deny the cross over towards Horse? Laura also in a position where, oh, he's just creeped forward, thinking he could try and find somebody, but Hakes has just sat waiting for him, and well, that's a 2v4. Really, it's up to her to try and play off the information that Diaz is going to supply to him. And well, able to find one. There's the shield, and somehow they've made the cross Hakes. Needs to try and get with him and go for the plant, but no, Fantasy's been taken down. Ursus went for the big long rotate in towards bedroom now. Hakes is trying to stick the defuse. Wizard is there, but oh, Herds! He went for the rotate, and he catches them by surprise.
Good growth, good swing. I mean, it came down to a bit of the wire there, obviously. Getting themselves the opener, driving in on the back. Herds needing the 3K to pull that in towards it. And it's just not enough there for NIP. They structurally did very well to take that away. But unfortunately, now that 4-2 becomes 5-2. The divide further and further away. The distance closer and closer here for them towards the end of the game, Furia. And they're able to at least keep themselves moving here on the defense. They'll play their way on towards dorms and games. We're going to get a bit of a repeat of the opening half, obviously, where it was a bit, as I said, a bit of that back and forth. Or NIP, I mean, can they lock in again? Can they bring themselves back from the brink again?
Shield ready.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Well, this is
5
a
seconds
big half
left
now
before
for NIP that they have to try and battle back from. At least the bedroom and office is going to be locked out now.
Pet some sheep. Might cheer you up.
Fear they won't be able to go back there for at least another 2 rounds. So dorms and games is where we head, and who knows, maybe you can have a similar thing with what happened to NIP and their defense. They won office and bathroom, but then they went on to lose the next 3 rounds. Who knows, that can maybe happen here, but have to start off with dorms and games. And for Furia, they're not going to shy away from hitting the extension. You can see Boxer with this aggressive shield over towards bedroom door and courtyard door. Let's be careful of the window in behind him, but he is a thorn. Should have plenty of traps to keep himself safe. And again, that clash is there, but will be dealt with by the Nomad, no doubt about it.
Looking for their cross here. They're driving their way up round towards Horse, on towards the back of the side itself, and Wizard takes the head off of Herds. Clash suddenly lost his friend, turns around and has to peel back. Worried about being circled on. Makes sense. You often do try and lean back in towards the approaches. We saw it time and time again, and generally had itself decent success. Here though, NIP, what can they do to build upon this? They got the opener last time and they couldn't quite get it fully converted. Head now. Pulling their way around on towards the corner, and E1D goes, the drive, this constant sort of harass of information.
P haven't lost anyone. Are slowly getting themselves in a position where they can just try and collapse in the 3-2-1, but the issue here for Furia is that 3 of them are kind of stacked up amongst each other, and oh yeah, it just leaves the other site completely free, and it was just a 3-2-1 go, and NIP with a lot of kills on the board. Furia just kind of backed themselves into a corner, and NIP were able to take all that ground.
There's the timeout. Furia. Time to have the talk, time to have the conversation, time to slow the game back down. They do not want to suffer similar things that have been done to them, and why not, right? Be a bit clear with the approach. Talk about where things are sort of disappearing. The first round, the first defense was close. It was Herds with a 3K. It was having to bite your way back in, retake whilst they're going for the plant. You cannot have those narrow margins be your decider. As they have this final conversation on towards it, they have just the game ahead of themselves to play. 5-2-3 on towards a site where, to be honest, the defender's gonna be able to pull this one off. They do not want to try and repeat dorms and games again. It's the same sort of conversation I had before. Obviously, NIP in the first half lost dorms and games, went down to waiting room, and then lost that as well. Will we have the same fate here?
This is a big round now. And look, we know Furia, they will get office and bathroom back in their control after this round, but don't want to be in a position where you can only win one site. That could be the case here if NIP are able to win this cafe and waiting room defense. So see what idea that Furia want to go for. Now, look, whenever we've seen NIP defend this,
5 seconds left before insertion.
they just kind of spread themselves very thin across that first floor. And then Furia just kind of walked in within a minute and killed everyone. There wasn't much method to it. There wasn't really, I think, any intent from Furia where they were eyeing up a plant. They just killed everyone. Now, I don't think that'll probably be the same in this circumstance. I think Furia have kind of shown that they'll drop back and play on site if needed, but that sometimes when we backs themselves into a worse position than where they started. But for NIP, I mean, they've shown they can play plant-orientated siege, even though we haven't seen it here yet on this map.
I think it's one of the things, obviously, that was entirely distant in the first map as well. Obviously, the defenders won every single round. We had 2 plants in the middle of last time. One of them successful, one of them not, and one of them from the side of NIP. So as he said, it might be something that we get a bit of a taste of here. They get themselves to drop onto the back of the tower and try and reclaim territory. Now there's the bit of the destruction on utility, but it doesn't look like anyone is directly contesting the top floor, at least over on this game's side. Instead, they're slightly closer towards the opposite end. The stairs on the far side, they can try and rotate and loop their way down if need be and just get out of there, but has it really slowed anything down here?
No enemies detected nearby.
In the case, for NIP, very precise in how they're clearing this map. I think they're using Hates and the Solid Snake extremely well. You see Herd's got pinged out and has to leave now on that potential flank opportunity. Everyone from Furia on the first floor. For NIP, where do they want to pivot now? What's going to be their next target? It's going to be towards Infirmary now, which again it's expected. This is the position that kind of gives away the bomb site if you take it. But Xera, what a great shot on the fantasy. However, the blitz is in. Oh, but is a little bit closer than he was, and because that Pasetto able to take him down. A 3v4 though, still advantage for Furia.
Yeah, right. That's the sort of problem of it. They've lost one more on the split there. They're trying to fight their way back round at this point. NIP, one body short, 30 seconds. They have a shield that they can try and build behind, and they do get Loira inside. Okay, things are a little bit level. The smoke canister start to pop. One more smoke, one more C4. They have things that they can arms reach play with here. Instead, the flash goes deep on towards a man who drifts a bit wide, but doesn't get caught or punished on the back of it. Pasetto, in the meantime, is going for the plant. Oh, Wizard is able to find at least one as they swing their way in. The worst time to pull off the gun, but they've been able to pull off the plant itself, and now they're stuck sort of fighting their way through. The blitz just battering, causing problems, flashing. They're holding them here on a very thin, narrow margin. They can't quite find a way around the corner because the blitz is just here so repeatedly. There was a team kill. Oh no!
Oh, that's how it's ended. Oh, that's a rough one. No doubt about it for Furia. Oh, NIP staying alive. No. No.
Okay, I've done it. You keep doing your point.
Yeah, NIP. They've been able to break them on 2 of the bomb sites. Now, look. Yes, Furia. I have no doubts that they'll probably go on to win Bedroom and Office. I just think that's the way the night kind of is. So, again, it's similar to what I kind of mentioned with the FaZe game earlier. Like, we knew FaZe were going to win the bomb set that they were really good on. But it's the other bomb sets which you struggle with. You know, that is what sometimes it comes down to in the grand scheme of things. But for NIP, they have shown that they can attack the other 2. It's just this top floor that's has been the stickler for them. In terms of lineup changes, from the last time we were here, Clash is still there. Still going to be an issue. I'm shocked that the Clash has escaped the banning phase. Especially considering that, I mean, Mira being banned away, and we've seen 0 Mira be played. I think it's a little bit foolish.
I mean, it's the elements of it, right? Where it's sort of like, maybe NIP considering what can be added. They've had a bit of a back and forth with the Clash. The Clash is once successful, once not successful. On the top floor, you can bait it in, you can counterpick against it. But again, as you said, the mirror hasn't really been played. Lawyer is out of there. I can hear the pressure of a shield. And see the pressure as they start to pop open on towards vending, on towards the tower. But it's otherwise still just sort of steady piecing together. They've proposed an aggressive stance. Very much trying to lure them in on towards games. The Goyo canisters, I mean, I wouldn't say they're stealing too much time from them. That one's going to have a bit more of an effect as they peel back, but it's definitely drawn a lot of focus over here.
Have the shield last time, NIP. So Basetto able to make good headway on that operator. One thing as well that I will mention about this series is that the two best players for NIP this stage have been Fantasy and Hates. Both of them have been the two lowest rated players in the series so far. It has been Pino and Wizard who have been really running the show for their side, which hasn't really been the case this stage. So it is a bit of an anomaly that we're seeing this game where it's not the players you would expect to turn up or turning up. Speaking of Pino, he's just been killed.
Yeah, that's not the best way to lead in when you get sort of bigged up and your ace gets knocked right down. They're trying to hold on towards the line. You can see the Deimos is drawing them, shepherded them back, but Loira gets themselves a second. The Blackbeard is gone. Doesn't really matter how far you push the Clash back at this point. She is not just surplus, she's the addition. They can set themselves up either side and still hit you with the 2 versus 1. Loira is at least caught out. The tricky divide to cross. I mean, Loira was out fishing quite far away. They've got themselves ready on towards the breach. They're just going to swing around and hit the pre-fire. How he's got there, I don't know, but he didn't get much further. That leaves 20 seconds. There's at least another trade out. Wizard alone with the kit, hoping to find a friend, but with the Clash just sort of saying, hello, mate, I'm here. Well, they know everything he's doing.
Yep. Furia. No real struggles that time. Actually a better hold from Furia compared to the first time they were there. First time, don't forget, it was a 2v4 that Fury had to win. But that time, a lot easier. I think the opening pick always helps out, and they were able to convert that. Loira onto Pino, you take out the heavy hitter. NIP struggling there just to get anything on the board, even with bringing in that shield. But, as I mentioned, we're now at the same position where top floor's locked out, and Furia have to win one out of the next 2 sites, which both of the sites that they could go to have been lost by them. So this is big decision making now for Furia. They're gonna go with Cafe. That's the site that they're gonna go with.
I mean, fair enough. Technically, they performed better on it, but you wonder what they're going to change, right? They didn't really contest above. They didn't try and set themselves up for the fight there. They did get the opener, but it was generically later on, and you know, NIP had time to build in response to it.
5 seconds to insert.
And you can maybe look towards, I guess, decisions of the bans, but the same way, I guess, you talk about how, you know, the mirror ban, it's not really a big factor. It's not really been a big drive. It's the same with the Monty, right? It's not been a factor for their attacks. This was very much removal of comfort. Herd's a little bit too late to the catch. Yeah, this is the game I sort of talked about. Going above. Well, he doesn't want to do it.
Is all the marbles for Furia. All they need to do just to win out one of these next 2 defenses, and well, said is going to be Waiting Room and Cafe, and that opening pick could be all important in this round. Who's it going to be? Who's going to fall to? And so far this series, it's actually been Wizard who has been the best on the entries. He's 8-3, but Loira very close to him on 7-2, so both +5, but Wizard has had more entry engagements. See how that goes now for them. Here we go.
Loads of time. Loads of time. The destruction of the sun above. They haven't been able to get the body up. Instead, use the Flores. Move those pockets of utility. Make the drive in towards the end a bit easier. There's obviously, you know, laser gates to get rid of. The thorn traps too. The potential an early smoke on towards the stairs as well. And when you think, well, what's your arms off delay. Like, they've got the single C4, the 2 smoke canisters. Really, that is it to stop them going for the plant if they're not in a position to get the cross. And that was kind of the cost last time. So they've got to propose themselves more aggressively. This was where they got that opening kill, and they're still buying time, but Loira buys the first body demo.
Yeah, big. FURIA, man advantage. They take down the Solid Snake. Here comes the blitz, but it's failed. Oh, a big round for Boxer. That's the engagement that he failed on the last time, and the Deagle to cement his position in Infirmary. And speaking of Infirmary, I think NIP needs some assistance, some medical assistance, as they have a 5v2 to deal with.
They get rid of Loira, maybe. He's down, but he's not entirely out. He can creep his way across, and just walking in through Barb is going to give the game away. 3 for Boxera, and only 1 left. Can't get the double stack up. Wizard. Unfortunately, the spell has been cast against him. Furia. They know the way to the major. They know the way through, and they'll stay on the upper bracket. NIP, unfortunately, the only way they know, demo, down to the lower bracket.